reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Dan back with us today. Got a lot of stuff, but Matt Gaetz really dusting it up with Merrick Garland, who refused to hand over any of the correspondence between the feds and Alvin Bragg's office, and also said, with no reason given, essentially, we'll play it for you, that the Robert Hur interview with President Biden around what he did with his documents and his biographer, no, we're not going to release the tape of that. Well, you told us that Hur is making it up, that Biden was completely cogent. You would think you'd want to release that tape, don't you think? Now, we know what's in there, and Hur was right on the money about being an hour alone with Biden without his handlers, what America would see. It would be disastrous. So we'll get to all that. Now, Caitlin Clark, I'm glad. I know there are people, and they're of all stripes. Why in the world is Caitlin Clark being talked about? Don't we have so many things? I mean, one, as a conservative influencer I saw, it said, why are we not talking about sex trafficking of women at the border? Why are we talking about Caitlin Clark? Well, I think we're talking about Caitlin Clark because people are interested in it. What business are you in? In my judgment, people want to know about this whole deal with Caitlin Clark. And the reasons are obvious. She created such a stir in the women's game in college. And then, as a result of that, she went to the pros. So last night, there was quite a battle in cable. Leland Vittert, who I know and been on a show, and I like him. He used to be on Fox. Went after Jake Tapper, and he brought up another reason why Caitlin Clark is being attacked, I believe. It's not just the ladies on The View and their nonsense about white privilege. One of them threw in at times she's white and pretty. One of the things he brought up is, another angle that's being talked about is she's straight. And in a league with any number of women, Griner. Why am I saying Grenier? Why am I making French? Brittany Griner. And any number of other prominent players who are outwardly gay, or when those are gay. That's another difference that's there. So Caitlin Clark is being talked about because so many things run through it. And again, people that don't know sports, like the ladies on The View, Dan, I think I sent that. This was choice. Yeah, the ladies on The View breaking this down. Whoopi, particularly. Listen to this. This just shows their ignorance in another area, sports. Trying to claim what's happening to Caitlin Clark is normal. Dan, do you agree? It's normal?
Oh,
good. If you're a contrarian on this, I'm fine.
Like I look at Candace Parker, and I was just talking to Henry. Henry was telling me about this.
The tape, right.
Yeah, and when she came into the league and the kind of response that she got, or when Michael came into the league and the hard fouls that he met, I don't know, is this because she's white or because she's straight, or is it just because she's really damn good?
Well, all the above. But, Dan, I'll tell you, even in South Philly, you can't hit somebody just standing there at the basket with nothing in play. If you're driving to the basket and someone clotheslines you, that's normal. I could live with that. I've done it. Have it done to me. I mean, we played in South Philly. You got pushed into a wall. The wall was only a couple feet on the other side of the basket.
Where I kind of stand then is I just think A flagrant 2 should have been given initially.
Well,
you know,
she should have been kicked
she got
out.
fouled. She should have been kicked out of the game. There's that 100%. There's a conversation as to why she wasn't kicked out. But I think this reaction that we're having, I think, is largely because she's white or because she's straight. And if it were a girl like Angel Reese, who's a black girl, I don't know if this culture would be reacting in the same way.
Well, I don't know what would happen to her in this manner. I mean, it's obvious. I sniff all that, and I think it's also that she's the face of it, bringing people there, and she's straight, and there's resentment. What about the lesbian women? All right, here's what they said on The View.
Let's be realistic, okay? This is basketball, okay? This happens in basketball all the time. Angel Reese got with a clothesline the other day. I mean, this is, these are not like, here's the ball. This is get out the way or I'm going to move you. That's what the game is.
Well, that was Angel Reese, I would agree with. Did you see the foul with Angel Reese?
Yeah.
She was going for a rebound, and they took her down,
Yeah, well, that type of stuff is you should be kicked out for that play, too. But that's more normal. You can't just be stationary, walk up and shoulder block someone.
So a lot of people,
go ahead, Dan.
Are reading this as confrontation. But this is not. They're not playing on the court. They're there to win. Oh. And just because they're women, get over yourselves. Yeah. They're athletes.
They're athletes. And I love that you say that, right? And what I love is that this is maybe the 5th time on this show or more that we're talking about the WNBA guys. I mean, this is unbelievable, right? And
it's been 17 years since I've been here.
Since you've been here, and I've been on the board only since 2015,
wow.
but 18. But I will say this: it is a contact sport.
Yeah,
and it's not dainty play. Okay, when you're sitting there and you're when you're watching, sometimes when that happens, you think, oh wow, I couldn't take it. You've got a guard that's 6 foot. You've got a big that's 6'7". You've got Brittany Griner, 7 feet. These are the women that are playing. They're exceptional athletes. And I want to talk about that Angel Reese, because this, with what happened with Caitlin Clark, which was clearly a flagrant foul, and it got upgraded to a flagrant, which it should have. The week prior, Angel Reese got hammered. I mean, the foul was determined to be a flagrant 2, and Thomas, her opponent, was automatically ejected.
Okay. All right. There's a little bit why I think Caitlin Clark is being talked about. Now, Dr. Fauci yesterday, we were giving you play-by-play as it was happening, and it's hard to get exactly the right moments. The best analysis I saw of the testimony of Dr. Fauci, and then we'll get into the aftermath, where the media now saying if you're criticizing Mr. Science, then you're bringing death threats down on him. Now, I don't know fully why in this country. I know it's a little bit hard to stop. My policy on this would be this. We need to do more to throw nets over those that are making death threats. We have the technology. I would track them to the ends of the earth. And then we need to penalize them more so that we cut down on these animals out there that think they can threaten you. Now, Dan, I've only had this happen once, really, and the police visited the guy.
Tell me all about this. I'm excited.
Yeah. I think I told you the story. He may be listening still.
Oh.
The Bugle Boy.
Oh, the Bugle Boy.
And the VIP staff, the commissioner was nice about this, visited him. They said, hey, just don't listen to the guy because you can't stand it. And he said, I must listen.
Can't help it. Cannot help myself.
I love that over the phone. But he ceased and desisted. And look, I know a program director, not Greg, not any of these people, but a previous guy. I thought he was kidding, Dan. He wouldn't leave the building with the talk show host when we were back a couple of buildings ago.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So I know it comes with this job somewhat. But not Roe, not the kids. And he was starting to make comments toward them. It wasn't direct. Hey, that's it, buddy. And it lessened after that. It was apparently because I talked about after 9/11 where flags were flying in the city and where they weren't. And that set him off. So with Fauci, with all these death threats, are we tracking these people down? Are we bringing them in? If they're making a death threat, what's the penalty for that? What are we doing? But no, we're going to continue to criticize this guy. And the best commentary that I saw on this, it summarizes this protection of Fauci, was in the New York Post. The writer, the columnist said, many adherents found in Fauci a religious purpose, with a mask and a needle serving as virtue symbols, and trust the science as their main recitation. Anyone with questions or objections was a heretic to be shamed. We were forced to mold our society around these arbitrary and draconian rules. Children's test scores went down. School absenteeism and depression shot up. Parents who advocated for schools to reopen were ostracized, called grandma killers. The 6-foot method shaped our mentality on everything from business to social gatherings, effectively making connections impossible and creating a pandemic of loneliness. People lost their jobs for refusing to get a jab. And yes, we can also blame the American Federation of Teachers head, Randy Weingarten, and many blue state governors who were all Fauci's dutiful disciples. So here is what Fauci said then on the 6-foot distancing rule, trying to get out of this now, of how this came about. Then what he does constantly, he threw it off on the CDC. The point of this woman in this, any reasonable person, after a month, 6 weeks, would start to see we've gone too far with this. Now, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't call out during the middle of that every crackpot theory that was out there. But there also were a lot of things that were just made up, were not the science, particularly with schools. So just because you were going the other way from Fauci doesn't mean that we should endorse that. Here is what Fauci said where the 6-foot rule came from.
Oh, I see nothing. I was not here. I did not even get
that's
up this morning.
not Fauci.
That's not Fauci. Okay.
It was a CDC decision, and it was clear.
Were you dialoguing with the CDC?
Excuse me?
Were you in communication with the CDC?
CDC was part of the coronavirus response team. Yeah.
And you didn't feel an obligation to go to them and say, look, Americans aren't going to trust us.
Yeah.
We're providing them with misinformation.
We have discussions at the White House about that. We did, but the CDC's decision and was their decision to make, and they made it.
And you didn't feel an obligation as the lead scientist at the NIH to challenge that?
I've challenged the CDC multiple times.
Publicly on this regard?
Issues. Excuse me?
Publicly, you challenged them on the 6-foot distancing rule?
It is not appropriate to be publicly challenging a sister organization.
Do you agree that Americans now have lost their trust in science, in lead science from government because of misinformation like this?
Well, when you talk about misinformation, I think that you have to be careful. It's not disinformation. It was information that ultimately proved when you put the aerosolization in that
it was not an effective rule to have 6 feet of distancing.
All right. So, we can't even get this straight. But yesterday, Democrats now trying to move us toward criticism of Fauci, and they threw the ball to him, brings death threats to him and his family. Well, he's in a very public role. He did a lot of damage. You have to be careful in the way that you deal with this. True. But I just want to see more of this death threat stuff and cracking down on it. I don't care if it's thousands of people there. I would march everyone. I'd have a czar of death threats to stop them, to try to stop this stuff and send a message. No, we're not going to let you do this stuff. But aside from that, it comes with the game of what this guy was involved in. There's a lot more that he said yesterday that wasn't scientific, Randy Weingarten arguably is as bad as Fauci, didn't have as much power, but she just was determined to shut those schools down. We had her on once during this, and she was determined to do it, to flex the power of the union. That's what it was about. That's where a lot of damage was done. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Let me give you the side question today. Side questions come from everywhere. I happened to see this on Jeopardy last night.
You watching Jeopardy?
Yeah, Ro loves Jeopardy, but Ro is brilliant. I'm trying to convince her to try out for Wheel of Fortune. I am stunned of how good she is on that.
So what are your thoughts on the whole Wheel of Fortune situation with Pat Sajak wrapping things up?
Yeah, I can't stand Ryan Seacrest. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, Pat Sajak is perfect for that. He's snarky enough, but it's playful snark.
Do you think Sajak's going to have a tell-all? Because you kind of see the leaks, the cracks of conservatism coming out on Twitter. Do you think he's going to?
Big time. He always has been. He's written columns and all. Maybe that's what he's going to start to do. I'd love to get him on. Like, you know why Pat Sajak, which they talked about it last night in an interview, why did Merv Griffin choose him?
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but you tell us.
Yeah, well, Merv Griffin had that theory. You want a normal-looking, maybe semi-attractive person with a big head for their body.
Like Joe Sibilia.
Yeah, like Joe Sibilia. And it fills up the whole...
enormous head. Yes.
Yeah, it fills up the whole screen. That's a pretty good theory.
Yeah,
Next time you're watching TV, if you have a big head, maybe you ought to try out. So I saw the category on Jeopardy, and the category was fictitious towns. And I thought, yes, in radio, TV, film, hit us with a town or city that is not real. It's a made-up. So I got a couple of them. I've always loved, when I start doing the overnights, dubbing the show The Guardian of Gotham City. I've always loved Gotham City. Just a great tag. And the other one I'll take.
Wait, are we talking like fictional towns just in general, or ones that we want to live in? Because Gotham City's not a place I'd want to live.
No, just a fictional town. And you tell us the reason. You tell us the reason why you like it. Maybe you want to live in it. You just thought it was cool.
It's fascinating. It's
fascinating.
Interesting.
Yeah. In any regard. Dillon, Texas, of course. Friday Night Lights.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine of how football crazy it is? They put the name and the number and a giant thing in your front yard when you're a team on the varsity team.
There's so much relationship drama.
Oh my God! Smash, all-time great character name.
Smash is great. Smash
that
is great.
I can't think of a Smash Borowski.
Yeah,
that would be.
And Riggins, Big Rig.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Tim Riggins too.
Yeah. Oh, he was great. He was the best character in there in a lot of ways. Yeah.
I'll take a couple.
Okay.
Sea Haven from The Truman Show. I often talk about my favorite movie being The Truman Show, but if it were real, it's a fake town. But the saying hello to everyone and the happiness that Truman faces every time he wakes up, it's all fake, it's all a ruse. But if that were real, it'd be fantastic. It's very happy, Midwestern seeming. Also a Midwestern town before the disaster that comes in the TV show, but the TV show of Jericho features it's a bomb that goes off, and you have the fallout, the nuclear fallout and all. But before that goes on, and Jericho is a small town that gets torn apart because of the nuclear bomb, Jericho is a fantastic place to live, so I'll take that one as well.
All right, so either a fantastic place to live. Yeah, Jim says we already live in Gotham City. True. Larry Krasner just needs a little bit more makeup or something. He could be an arch villain. So, or you just think it's cool. You just are interested. I'm always interested in Gotham City. I love the whole thing. Some of the scenes in with the last Joker, where you can't please the Joker. What do you want? And he just wants chaos. He just wants to continue doing what he's doing. How do you deal with somebody like that? All right, phone lines.
I got to take the Jesus answer off here.
Okay, yeah, that never. We're always going to. Yeah,
well, it's Mayberry in this situation.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, all right, yeah. I mean, I was going to take it, but that's not going to win. A little bit outside the box.
Yeah, it's too right on the nose, right?
Yeah. Krasner is Two-Face. All right, 855-839-1210.
Yes.
You can get on board. We have Congressman Wesley Hunt coming on. Apparently, the Trump people are opening up a big volunteer office today. Dan, we still don't know the location, though, right?
No, I do now. I have it here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what a great producer I am, right? It is 8002 Frankfurt Avenue, Dom, the Philadelphia regional office. New regional office doors are going to be opening at 4:15 today.
8002
Frankfurt Avenue.
Is that one of our detectives out there?
Wait, that seems very close, doesn't it?
Yeah, is that Mayberry itself? Is that Mayfair?
No, it's
Frankfurt?
Yeah, it's right between Mayfair and Holmesburg. I guess it's still on Mayfair, right?
He'll be coming on. I object to this a little bit, Dan. Now,
it's next to the Holmesburg Bakery, so I guess it's more Holmesburg, right?
Okay, if I were but I realize what will happen. But I like the drama of the battle. Where would you put your office in Philadelphia if you were Trump?
I think Mayfair.
Nah.
You don't think so?
I put it in North Philly. We're going down Broadway.
Well, I think there's the aspect of, you want the, conflict there and the newsworthiness of having it in North Philly, but
exactly.
You kind of want to make things convenient for your volunteers, don't you? I think most of the volunteers are going to come from the Northeast and Mayfair.
Yeah, we'll go to Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, Maybe I need two. One, the practical, the other, which is the Gotham City. No, you know what? I take that back. Why did I say that? I know exactly where I would put it. The one place I would always put it. It's got to be in South Philly. Always go with South Philly. That's where you put it.
That accomplishes both the...
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. It's going to be relatively safe, but it's going to be active. Go down Broadway. Just tell Jody Della Barbara, Jody, where in South Philly are we putting this? And go with that. I'm intrigued by how they came up with this, Dan. And we'll get the time at 12:30 with them, the whole deal that's going on with this. Yeah, 8002 Frankfurt. Okay. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Jump in right now. Hit us with that and hit us with your town on Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Attorney Linda Kearns, who is joining us here.
What your listeners need to know are that the people running the polling places and counting mail ballots and administering elections in Pennsylvania want Biden to win and Trump to lose. I'll be sending in my playlist. I'm a conservative female living in Philadelphia. You didn't even have to promise that. I'd do anything to help the kids of fallen officers.
There you go. Linda Kearns. Thank you, Linda.
ProtectTheVote.com.
There you go. ProtectTheVote.com.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I am a dad, as you know, 3 amazing kids. And as a dad, I can tell you what Dad wants this Father's Day. He doesn't want a tie. We don't want sweaters. We don't want golf shirts. We want steaks, baby. That's what our dads want. That's what I want. Steaks from Omaha Steaks. A world-class dad deserves a world-class steak. And this Father's Day, the experts at omahasteaks.com have made it so easy for you. omahasteaks.com. Use my name, Zioli, at checkout for an additional discount when you shop gourmet gift packages for Father's Day. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. I'm talking about endless flavor, endless variety, endless value. Truly the best of the best. Better than any of those low-energy steaks you can get in the grocery store. Use my name, Zioli, for exclusive savings at checkout. So go to omahasteaks.com, put in my name, Zioli, Z-E-O-L-I, because if there's one thing Omaha Steaks knows, it's that dads want steak. Take it from this dad, omahasteaks.com, promo code Zioli.
Living with Lyme, a condition that you may have and not even know it. John DeMasi here, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Yes, you may be living with Lyme, even if you've had some kind of treatment. Dr. Molly Fantasia and the healthcare team at Innovative Medical Associates have dealt with this condition and have helped hundreds over the years live successfully with Lyme, mainly through the use of medical hydration. They've been able to reduce many of the symptoms associated with Lyme and allow their patients a better quality of life.
I want to get you through your initial challenge, working alongside with my physicians, and then get you to a place where we are looking at maintaining your immune system, maintaining your quality of life.
If you suspect you or someone you know has Lyme disease, visit innovativemedicalassociates.com on the web to schedule a free initial consultation or call 856-489-0505.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Okay, it is Dom time. The main takeaway, and sorry, Dan, this printer out here, I'll blame that. I can't see the numbers on this. They fade away. That's the key part. It's the last one on page 1. This is the key yesterday that I thought unmasked Fauci. And the guy is a physician, the congressman who brought this up. I think it was Congressman McCormick. It's a phone call played back in the hearing in which you hear Fauci, the real Fauci here, talking about breaking people down, and then their ideology will go away, okay? If you put the mandates in, you break them down, and then they're going to listen. Here's how it sounded.
You think can be done about it? I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you are going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady, you're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit and they get vaccinated.
Yeah, we're going to make it difficult in their lives. Now, you could argue in this debate, well, he's on the side of saving lives, and that's what he's going to do. People are dying here, and that's what we have to do. Okay, if it was so obvious then. So here's the great debate with this. You still have people on the other side. They still think they followed the science rather than they were petty dictators. The all-time best. We had it right here in our backyard, Dan, and I'm writing my column this week on it, coming off the Fauci. You remember the one, that guy, coward who wouldn't come on, the doctor with Valerie Arcouche.
Yeah.
They closed down the schools for 2 weeks.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, we'll get to her in a second. In Montgomery County, why? He was on the board there, and he said, you got to be like Wayne Gretzky. You don't go to where the puck is now. You go to where the puck is going to be. I don't know if we have the sound of that. If he said it publicly or he wrote it.
Give me about 20 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, the puck, right? So they closed down schools for 2 weeks. All schools, Montgomery County. Here's the guy explaining why he and Valerie Arcouche closed down the schools. This was right before Thanksgiving. I'm not sure if this was...
He's Martin Treitinger is the guy's name.
Yeah, yes. All right, here's what he said.
Dr. Treitinger? Yes, thank you. I've always been a big fan of Wayne Gretzky's analogy about hockey, that you don't try to head toward the puck, you try and head to where the puck's going to be. And to be honest with you, I think that that's what we're looking at here. We're trying to anticipate, we're trying to think ahead, we're trying to put our county in the best position possible. And though I know that a lot of the discussion yesterday seemed to come down to people wanting to talk about different rates and parameters that the schools might be experiencing as far as numbers and spread in schools, et cetera, the brutal fact comes down to that that's not the number that the State Department of Health or State Department of Education will be looking at. They're looking at a figure within the county of about 10%.
All right, so that's one. Then, of course, we had the good afternoon woman, the head of the healthcare communications, whatever she was, with Wolf. Send a call down to those goofballs out there, but they're protecting abortion, Dom, the commissioners in Bucks County. Dr. Damsker, put him in the basement. He can keep his job, but put him in the basement. Remember the progress he was making? We had it right here, the experts, the scientists. Mr. Wayne Gretzky there. And what do they have to lose if they shut down and life them? Well, they always would come back to, we were being super safe. Anybody could say that. That's not your job. Your job is to make a reasonable decision based upon what you know. And you blew it. And so did Valerie Arcouche. It had all the tentacles of petty little dictators, just like Fauci was in this. All right, 855-839-1210. Coming up, we're going to talk with Congressman Wesley Hunt, rising star in the Republican Party. Big military experience. He's coming to Philadelphia, or he might be here right now. I'm not sure. Opening up a volunteer office and stirring things up in the area for President Trump. We're going to give you all the details. I think it opens tonight. I'm not sure. We'll let him explain everything. Hope to be over there if they're accepting people tonight. around this. 855-839-1210. Hey, it's so important to make sure our families have the essentials. Food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. There's a lot of news about drinking water these days. Just do what I did. Count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water, and what comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all-natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family, they're passionate about water. And they'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. Their customer service, attention to detail are just fantastic. They'll come out to your home, test your water, recommend solutions that make sense for you. Contact Martin Water Conditioning. They'll take great care of you. Check on martinwater.com, or call 800-887-7555. That's 800-887-7555.
At California Psychics, we know that nagging doubts like, how much will a psychic cost? And how will I find the right one? Can stop you from getting the guidance you need. That's why we offer the best psychics at the best value. California Psychics have a wide range of psychics available 24/7, so you can find the one that meets your needs and your budget. If you can't decide, our dedicated customer service team are always available to guide you. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. And what do you know? Most of our customers get everything they need from a reading within that time. Our psychics may surprise you with their ability to offer unique insight on your life situation. In fact, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So, there's never been a better time to take the next step. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Crash Proof Retirement is taking an aggressive, bold step, becoming the very first firm in history to record and store all financial meetings. This unprecedented initiative documents that at Crash Proof Retirement, fiduciary responsibility is not just something we say, it's a legally binding guarantee that we've always delivered to the Philadelphia region.
Savannah McHugh, Montgomery County. Wall Street will tell you they're looking out for your best interest. They say that fiduciary thing, and then it goes out the window. Crash Proof is saying, not only are we saying it to you, but we're going to put it on film. There's no shadow over anything that they do. That's the difference. Crash Proof Retirement has taken the time to show that they care so that we can go home, go to sleep, and not have to worry about it.
Learn why recording financial meetings validates Crash Proof Retirement's fiduciary responsibility. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices, plus an additional $1,000 Costco discount on all new Cherry Hill Volvos. When leasing or purchasing a new or certified Cherry Hill Volvo, you become a valued part of our team. Join Cherry Hill Volvo for the pricing and attention you deserve. I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Get ready to hit it out of the park every time you fire up the grill this summer with Hatfield. Swing into action with Hatfield's variety of marinated pork, ground pork and sausage, ham, bacon, and your favorite Hatfield Phillies Franks. With over 24 distinct flavors that can be ready in minutes, Hatfield pork is food you'll feel good about serving. From home or at the ballpark, find your flavor with Hatfield, the official pork provider of the Phillies. Visit simplyhatfield.com for recipes and to find a retailer near you.
Weather sponsored by Budget Blinds.
Another very warm day today with a mixture of sunshine and clouds. High temperature up around 87. For tonight, partly cloudy and mild. Low 66 for the city, cooler out in the suburbs. And for Wednesday, becoming mostly cloudy with some late day showers and storms. High 84.
Summer's a great time to brighten up the window treatments in your home. Budget Blinds is your one-stop shop for blinds, shades, shutters, custom drapery, and motorization. Visit budgetblinds.com for a free in-home consultation and the only no-questions-asked warranty in the business. Budgetblinds.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. It's called Trump Force 47. Wow. They're going to be landing helicopters over there in Frankfurt tonight, Dan.
I'd love to see it.
Let's go to one of the architects of this who'll be out there doing this, rising star in the Republican Party, Congressman Wesley Hunt, here on the Dom Show. Hey, Congressman, welcome back to town. Thanks for joining us.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you all so much for having me.
Well, I know you're a Houston guy and a military guy in a lot of difficult situations in the military, a lot of deployments, et cetera. So with that kind of background, why get into Congress?
Oh, because, I mean, when you're an Apache pilot and you've flown 55 combat air missions in Baghdad, and when you've been shot at by a Russian-made 50 caliber fully automatic Dishka, being in Congress is actually quite easy.
Well, I don't know if Dr. Fauci, I don't think Fauci would agree with that after yesterday.
not today. Not today, he's not.
No, but I did see you once in one of those back and forths in Congress. It kind of reminded me. I thought helicopters would be used pretty soon. So, well.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about this Trump Force 47, Congressman.
Oh, my gosh. This is the initiative that we are going to do outreach in communities that the Republican Party in the past have bravely gone where no man has gone before. This is why Byron Donalds are heading to Philly. Byron Donalds and I are heading to Philly tonight, because what we know is this. If President Trump can get between 25 and 30% of the black vote in these United States of America this year in 2024, the Democrat Party cannot win. And what Byron and I are trying our best to do is to convey this to the black community, that black issues are American issues. Do you want the border fixed? Are you sick of inflation? Do you want to feel safer? Are you better off now than you were, or were you better off 4 years ago? The answers to these questions are quite obvious. It's just up to us in the party to take this message to the communities that we have not taken it to before. And I tell you what, we are very excited as to the polling that we are seeing. It's why we're up in every single swing poll, and it's why I guarantee you President Trump will have a record number of the black vote in this country that we have seen in modern history in the Republican Party.
Yeah, I think without a doubt. And, inflation with everybody, it's influencing everybody. But whenever we see even the mainstream news, Congressman, they interview people in, I live in Philadelphia. I live in Germantown, which is a predominantly black neighborhood, not too far from Frankfurt, where you're going to be today. It's illegal immigration. And African Americans are the ones being hit probably the hardest by what's going on with that.
African Americans, legal Hispanic men, legal Hispanic women. The people, we the people, are pissed. We want to know who is coming into this country. And by the way, we want immigrants in this country, but the insinuation that it's okay to have 11 million people enter our country illegally is utterly absurd.
No, wait a minute, Congressman. Wait a minute. You're on this show. Maybe you haven't heard. Joe Biden today, by executive order, is going to say we're only going to let 3,000 or 4,000 in a day times 365 days. Come on now.
Here's what's absolutely hilarious about that. Why now, huh? Why now? He could have done this 3 years ago. Why now? And then, by the way, he wants to order now through executive fiat. But here's the reason why that on day one we're in this position, because he overturned President Trump's executive orders that had the border under control, and then tried to blame Congress for the border situation when we all know damn well that the second he appointed Kamala Harris to be the border czar, set this thing into a frenzy. And then now he's telling us that he could fix the border via executive fiat. Let me tell you something. We the people do not believe you.
Absolutely. So as we understand it, Congressman, the office kickoff today opens at 4:15, 8002 Frankfurt Avenue. You'll be there. Anybody else going to be there today?
It'll be for in terms of members of Congress or surrogates for President Trump. It'll be just me.
Okay. And then when's the other event? That's at a media tonight?
It's at 7 p.m. tonight.
Okay.
At the Cigar Code, 7 p.m. tonight. It'll be me, Byron Donalds, and Michelle Tafoya moderating.
Oh, Michelle Tafoya. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get over to that, Dan. I'm sure there'll be a Caitlin Clark question or two there with Michelle Tafoya.
And does Wesley Hunt imbibe in cigars? Do you imbibe in cigars and cognac yourself, sir?
what kind of? I wouldn't be having it there if I didn't plan on it. I wouldn't have be right. So come on now, let's get serious here.
Well, wait a minute, though. It's a foreign. That's my producer Dan, but cognac is foreign to me also. I'm just getting used to bourbon. We did an event with Rand Paul.
Whoa! Cognac is foreign to you?
Yes, it's foreign to me. Yes.
We got to make that domestic to you then, sir. You got to come on down. I'll be happy to buy you one. You're in for a treat.
Well, I'm a wine drinker.
Let's go.
It's the Italian thing too. And
this guy had vodka for the first time last year.
And keep in mind. I'm also a fellow Sicilian, if you know what I mean. So Italian, black guy, you know what's going.
So this office now, the emphasis on the office tonight, the kickoff of the office, the one over on Frankfurt Avenue, Congressman, is we're looking for volunteers, and we've been very, very in tune to that here locally with good results. Tell us what you're thinking about the volunteers.
Look, we need people to realize that this is a fight for the very soul of this country. And, I'm a combat guy, and I'm currently serving in the halls of Congress, continuing to find ways to serve my country. And that's what God called me to do. But for those people that have not served this country, this gives them an opportunity to save our nation on November the 5th, 2024, the year of our Lord. And so I want to encourage people to look at this as the way I look at it. This is your opportunity. This is a deployment. This is your chance to serve this nation. And for you to look at your children and say, you know what, when the country was on the brink of disaster, I rose my hand and I said, I'm going to help defend this country against all enemies, both foreign and domestic, like my veteran friends. And so this is what this is about. Please get out, volunteer, save our country, spread the word, because I tell you what, we cannot have 4 more years of a Biden-Harris administration.
A parting question for Congressman Wesley Hunt. You apparently told Fox News Democrats celebrating the Trump guilty verdicts, despicable human beings. I'm sure tonight the media that show up, like the Philadelphia Inquirer at either spot, are going to say to you, how in the world can you look in the mirror and be supporting a convicted felon?
Well, because this convicted felon over the last 72 hours raised $200 million. One third of those people are new donors. And so, to be honest with you, that's a lot of cheddar. And I am not the only one that feels that way. So if you're wondering how I support that, what I am talking about is this is an investigation that started in 2017. No one would touch it because it was known as the ghost case. And so now you bring this up right now after President Trump is going to be the nominee for the Republican Party, and sentencing is 4 days before the Republican National Convention, and then you expect the American people to believe that this is not a witch hunt? Please. So I'm not the problem. If you believe this is not a problem, that this is not an issue, you're the problem.
Absolutely. Congressman, again, 2 big events tonight. The one out of media at 7. The volunteer office, we're told, opens at 4:15. Around 5 o'clock, festivities begin. 8002 Frankfurt Avenue. We really enjoyed talking with you. I hope we can get you in studio sometime soon, maybe for an hour or so.
We're happy to do it, man, anytime. But look, I'm bringing cognac and a cigar, okay? So please come thirsty and come ready.
All right. Thanks, Congressman, very much.
Hey, y'all have a great day. See you soon.
Why am I saying cognac and he's saying cognac?
I love the idea of you sitting there and drinking
God.
some cognac.
Oh, God. What you have to do for this team. I can't drink any more of that bourbon. It's paint thinner. I almost did the Jerry Seinfeld thing, had to spit it in the potted plant there. But that was Rand Paul. Can you imagine the bourbon trail? See, Dan, you can have the wine trail. Because you can be drinking wine. It's going to take you a while before you're incoherent. The bourbon trail, how many places are you going to go before that's it? You're done. 2?
It's true. It's a good point.
God. Oh, man, that was good stuff. All right, that's Wesley Hunt, as I said, rising star. I knew if I talked about the combat mission, Dan, imagine this guy. Imagine a Philadelphia Inquirer. Well, sir, how are you supporting this guy? Him and Byron Donalds. Oh, man.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah, that is good stuff. So that's opening tonight at around 4:15 over on Frankfurt Avenue. I think I'll go to that one, Dan. I can dodge the other. Maybe I'll bring a bottle of wine and hand it off to him. All right, side question today.
Yeah, I just also want to put it out there.
Yeah.
This event, along with all the other events that are going to pop up throughout the campaign as we gear up for the election, GOPvictory.com. If you want more information on what we're talking about here, GOPvictory.com.
Do you see any more in our area?
There's no. The closest one I see is a Latin Americans for Trump office opening out in Reading.
Okay.
But no. Just right now, all that's listed is the Trump Force 47 event that we see here.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we can open one up in the back of Mulligan's. I'd love to get the congressman there, so let's start working on that. Scott Presler is fired up. By the way, Dan, it's a good thing, and we'll get Scott back on this week. He sent me last night, because I was going over with him details of the big event for Dom Day, that Bucks County, Dan, went last week. The Dems had a registration edge of 1,222. It's now down to 1,024. We're almost under 1,000. Wow. At the rate it's going, the registration rate in Bucks County, my math says by either July 8th or July 15th, because it comes out on a Monday, either July 8th or July 15th, at this rate, Bucks County is going to be red. And some people are new. Why are you making such a big deal out of that? Why does Scott Presler make such a big deal? It's obvious. This is the ultimate swing state. People see that. They realize they're not alone. Money starts to flow in. People fired up. This guy is an incrementalist. And that's what I admire. You know, if this guy were coaching a football team, we need 1/8 of an inch here, not an inch. That's what he's about. I think he's in Montgomery County today or tomorrow, Dan, and he put out a thing. Some guy's playing a guitar behind him, and he's holding up signs of what it was in April. Then he switches. They play a riff to another sign on Twitter, and it shows you where it is now. We're almost under 1,000 registrations, and Democrats are dropping by about 200 a week. So you do the math, sometime in July, I thought it would take up till Election Day. Bucks County is going to be red. Now, we got to do something with I can't make it happen by June 21st, although that would be nice. All right, phone lines, 855-839-1210. Hit us with that fictional town or city. Could be a film, could be TV, and it could be you just like it, it's cool, or you'd like to live there, whatever it is. Give me your reaction to Wesley Hunt. I think it's a good choice, Frankfort Avenue, Dan. I know what you mean. The volunteers going there, showing up, relative safety. I get that. I hope they open one in North Philly, though. I was going to suggest, is there any space right next to Krasner's office that might be available? That's always a good spot. Yeah. This week is the Rizzo update, the Rizzo statue first committee meeting. It's on Thursday night. I'll be there. And, I won't say anything out of school, but I'll give you the flavor of it on Friday of what's happening with that. There are apparently big plans, breakthroughs where that Rizzo statue, we don't even have to build it. We have it already. We should have a ceremony taking it out of storage, freeing Frank Rizzo.
I'm telling you, get away from me.
Unhook that thing, you son. And then where the Rizzo statue is ultimately placed.
Take that thing out. Unhook it.
All right.
Let me tell you something. You're a coward.
And what also are you?
You are a lush. I can tell by looking at you.
Yeah, that's the line. 50 years a cop. I know a lush when I see one.
I know a lush when I see one, and you're a lush.
Imagine being the reporter. Well, sir, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're a creep.
All right, 855-839-1210.
You're a crumb creep, lush coward.
All right. My God. Give me your reaction.
More Philadelphia.
Wesley Hunt, Dan, this guy, that's a lot of cheddar. Imagine the Inquirer with him and Byron Donalds and one Inquirer guy tonight bothering them. What about the election of 2024? Will you support it?
You're going to have a hell of a story on that one.
They'll say, give me Rizzo. I don't need these two guys.
Get it all. Don't miss any of it.
All right, batteries plus bulbs. Roy, two big stores, Mount Laurel, Route 73, Northfield on Tilton Road. Roy and his staff are going to fix What's wrong with your tech? That's what he told me to tell people last time I talked a couple weeks ago. We fix your tech here. We take the time. We give you great customer service. Maybe we educate you if necessary on what to do in the future. That's what you're going to get, whatever it might be. You should be calling them right now, whatever the problem is, 856-638-0778, not just your phone. Talk to Chris Sharp, the master tech, Farah, the store manager. This is the original batteries plus bulbs. Roy started that 18 years ago, so this is like a superstore. Great deals every day. You mention my name when you stop into Roy's either store. Be entered to win a $50 gift certificate to use at the Mount Laurel and Northfield locations. No purchase necessary. Again, if you have a business, you want an energy audit, you want to know something with tech, these are the people to do it. Don't go anywhere else. Just pick up that phone and call Roy or his guys and Farah there at 856-638-0778.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Terry, go right ahead. Get your pound of flesh.
Somebody earlier said, if we're voting for Biden, we're stupid. That all comes from Donald Trump because that's all he does is call people names like a little kid. The donors for him are billionaires.
Because I guess Biden has no billionaire donors. Biden, who's a career politician.
Can I ask this caller a question respectfully?
He's gone. He's gone, Sean. I've butted heads with Terry in the past, but it's a Friday. It's beautiful, and I don't want to have a stroke here.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And you know, doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to him, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
When you look at your kids or grandkids, you can't help but wonder. You wonder what their world will be like in 20 years. Then you think about yourself. What will your life be like when you step away from work and into retirement? There are a lot of things you can't control, but with the right planning, there are some things you can. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, our Portfolio X-Ray is designed to show you how you're doing so far and what your monthly income will look like in the future. In other words, they can take you from wondering to knowing. So take control of your financial future. Call today for a complimentary evaluation. 856-322-8686 or at SpectrumWP.com. And tune into The Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized with help from Beacon. I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Tom Giordano Show, welcome in. So, Congressman is a heck of an addition coming to town. Yeah, the Frankfurt office, I'm always partial to Northeast Philadelphia. I get it. I would have preferred, though, South Philly. More central location. But I'm glad they're doing what they're doing here. Maybe they'll open up more, and they'll be even more engaged.
Why no suggestion of West Philly? That's where all the, white progressives live.
Yeah, well...
They have that whole Facebook group that they love to bitch and moan about how there's not enough public libraries on the street corners while they can't, leave their...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, West Philly is not exactly Trump territory per se. It's South Philly, it's Northeast, but I'm glad they're doing it. All right, side question today. Just saw Jeopardy last night. Fictional towns or cities? And tell us why. Do you want to live there? Do you just think it's cool? I just think Gotham City. I'd love to be doing talk radio in Gotham City, Dan. Come on. How could you resist that? Batman is our next guest. All right, let's go to Rob in Medford, Talk Radio 1210. All right, Rob, afternoon.
Hey, guys. So I have an obscure one.
Sure.
First, let me say your guest was spot on. I'd like to put him in a room with Fauci. That would be something to say.
Yeah. He that guy is up and comer. Any committee that I've seen, there's fireworks with him. We're going to get him in studio here soon, I think.
Awesome. Look forward to that. So mine is Back to the Future, and I might have to ask for special dispensation because I'm not sure if it's the name of the town, but the Twin Pines Mall is a fictitious place, except after Marty goes back to the future, he drives the DeLorean into one of the pines, and then it becomes Lone Pine Mall.
And that's Hill Valley is the name of
it.
Yeah, Hill Valley.
Hill Valley is the name of the town as well. It's
remember they has to move it behind the development, the sign.
Yeah.
It's got to put the DeLorean behind it.
I stand corrected. Well, Twin Pines Mall was mine, but,
it's a great answer.
It's a great answer. What's better, Dan? Ferris Bueller's Day Off or Back to the Future? In my mind,
Back to the Future.
You think Back
hands
Back
down.
to the Future is bigger, but come on now.
No, you cannot compare Ferris Bueller.
Oh, Dunkashane. Come on, that whole scene.
It's a forgettable Hughes comedy that there's 5 others that you can choose from there versus one of the most influential sci-fi comedy films of all time.
Yeah, okay, but I'll give you a mark against it. Then there was Back to the Future 2. I had never seen it the other night. Both were on.
You know where I'm going to go with this one.
I watched it for 30 seconds. I could. And Back to the Future 3
come on.
is worse.
You're going down this hole.
It's worse than Godfather 3.
I was going to say, are you discrediting Godfather 2 because of how bad Godfather 3 is?
Well, that's a work of art, though. I mean, you
can't discredit Back to the Future because how bad Back to the Future 3 is.
I just said it's one mark against it.
Yeah.
There wasn't a Ferris Bueller's week off after that. All right.
True.
All right. More calls coming up. Big 2 o'clock hour. A little bit later, we'll have Dom's Money Melody. Got more of Dr. Fauci coming up, too. Yesterday, we didn't have a chance to really dive into exactly what he was saying. The 6-foot rule. But the thing that I'll break down the next hour. The big thing coming out of this, the thread is he went after his underling, his chief of staff. He threw him under the bus. Is that guy going to take it? He's being called a liar under oath by Congress. Or is he going to come back and testify and talk about this whole burner phones and files and all that stuff that seemed to have gone on here about information around COVID? Was the second in command doing it? Or was Dr. Fauci doing any of this? All that straight ahead on Talk Radio 1210.
You'll hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-688-6641.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Dawn Stensland here for my friends at Anderson Mechanical Corporation, AMC. Yeah, they want to make sure your AC blows that cool air you'll need when summer temperatures are here. The owners, Carrie and Bill, take great pride in doing things the right way. Take advantage right now of their spring tune-up special. You'll receive a 15% discount off your spring maintenance and 1 year of free maintenance with a replacement system. Call them today, amcontheweb.com, amcontheweb.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
I'm Philomena, founder of Kin Apparel here in Philly. I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies and hats were doing to it. So I made my own satin-lined hoodies and created a business in the process. I've got big dreams, and Chase for Business in Philly was like, all right, how do we get you there?
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there. investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Out here, in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. And sometimes, that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up, you have trouble sleeping, maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is, there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take to find the right solution for you. Whether it's hearing stories about what other people are going through, or finding the resources we need to navigate the stresses in our lives. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Man, the prep work on Dan Time with Dom is never ending. The questions I have to answer. Have you now,
Very
sir,
personal questions, right?
ever been a member of the Communist Party, or would you be? No, and that's why I don't like the NFL. But that's another story. Okay.
The things I know about you, Dom.
Yeah. So yesterday, this Representative Garcia, paying his respects to Fauci, says the American public should listen to America's brightest and best doctors and scientists instead of listening to podcasters, conspiracy theorists, and unhinged Facebook memes. Boy, I'd love to see this guy in real life if he follows that dictum. You know, broad question coming off Fauci, coming off this stuff, is when did we start to turn against experts? And Rick Santorum is the one that wrote about this, and Trump used his book, Blue Collar, is it Blue Collar Populist? Blue Collar Conservative. Met with Santorum before the 2016 election. And this whole thing with Fauci and expertise, well, people started doing it when they saw there wasn't necessarily science or expertise behind this. as much as they were just wired in and they were using the threat of government or something else to get you to do what they wanted you to do. They had an agenda versus no. So I just thought I'd throw it out. You know, who is expert out there that we still listen? That might be a side question even, but people that are deemed experts in something that we still listen to. And people were wearing shirts yesterday that said ivermectin on them there in the hearing room around Fauci. Several of them have ivermectin. And ivermectin, I remember at the height of it, seemed to be one of the biggest things that drove this. We were led to believe, I remember the day it broke, people using ivermectin. Oh, man, these people are using something you only use with horses and other animals. Yeah. Then it turned out, yes, there is that ivermectin, but then there was another form that was used, Japan principally, and the results that people had with this. So this is bigger than just Dr. Fauci. It's about the whole idea of how the Democrat Party, at least progressives, have gotten into this mindset in any walk of life that they just know better about what the world is made up of, what's accurate, what's scientific, what is true, what reality is, and the rest of it's are kind of knuckle draggers if we differ with them on this. And that's where a lot of the big battle is. So I see it even in sports. I see people that get married to analytics. You know, analytics are okay, but I go with the eye test. And I look at Ben Simmons, for example. I'm not drafting that guy. I don't care what you tell me. I know he's a loser. I don't even have to talk with him. A guy that doesn't get the number one thing to do in sports is to shoot well, and he refuses even to shoot. Well, right there, I'd have to say that might be a deal breaker. You know, that's not someplace you want to go.
It's kind of obvious.
But you hear experts. Look at the Sixers draft picks. And how in the world, I happened to see him the other night, Dan. There was a show on about quarterbacks, and it was Jalen Reagor, right? Who the Eagles picked in the first round pretty high as a receiver, right? Cousins is throwing the ball. There's about 3 quarterbacks. And Reagor is standing there, sitting down in his zone. He's throwing the ball to him, and all of a sudden he moves for no reason we can think of. And Cousins is a pretty decent family guy and all. He erupts on the bench. I told you about this guy. Look at this. Why would you do that? How in the world does stuff like that happen with all the money spent and all the alleged experts? Well, you know, in bigger things like COVID, like Fauci, people see what goes on in this. And yet yesterday, the Democrats were unrelenting. That was part of it. On doubling down on this, there were 2 parts. 1, you will listen to our experts. 2, you will shut up because if you talk and push back on Dr. Fauci, he's going to get death threats. Now, we already explained this. No rational person wants death threats, should be making death threats, all of that. Are you saying this, Dan?
I put that up there. Yeah.
If you can't trust experts, then who the heck can we trust?
It's a personal question I struggle with.
What, experts?
Yeah, well, who the hell do we listen to anymore? I mean, this is the number one alleged expert on science telling us we have to trust the science, and it's coming out now that a lot of what he said is fabricated or politically driven. So
exactly.
And so I'm just underlying your point, though, and I'm asking you, though, for your thoughts. If you can't trust the, quote, experts, who do we trust? Like if there's another pandemic or something,
right?
Do we?
Yes. Well, that's why we should look at who got it right on this stuff. Who is it that was right? All right, I'll tell you who I trust on this. And I forget how you pronounce it. It's Dr. J, the guy out there in Stanford. Yes, he was right on this. He was right up and down the line. He was reasonable on all these things. He wasn't saying wild stuff. Dr. Damsker, Dan, here locally. And all these news there's Dan and I, and the Inquirer's got 500 of us. They need 1,000 at least. They need 10,000. Do they even explore with Dr. Damsker? What happened there? Why are you in the basement? I trust him. Every time he was on, he was our person of the year. He was provocative. He was pushing the envelope to get schools and businesses open, but he was very reasonable.
He wasn't even provocative. He was just being truthful as an expert.
Well, right.
You know,
I
like,
mean, provocative versus the so-called experts.
He wasn't playing the games that people wanted him to
Right,
play.
exactly. And he was spot on. He was right. So we have to look at who was right during COVID. How does Randy Weingarten ever get listened to on anything? These teachers' unions and others. They had an agenda. So you need experts who's Dr. Paul Offit over at Children's Hospital. I trust on these things. I've interviewed him several times. There are people out there with expertise who have been right, don't have an agenda. You know, everybody has an agenda, but it's not overwhelming like Fauci, like we've seen. Here's an example. This is cut 8. I don't trust any of these historians. Remember these historians they used to bring on? They studied something. They tell you really, give you context of history. John Meacham here, Michael Beschloss, and this other phony, Douglas Brinkley. Listen to Brinkley, cut 8. Tell us, what the Trump conviction means to us.
2 years shy of this country's 250th birthday, 12 New York jurors have convicted former President Donald Trump on 34 counts for falsifying business records in an attempt to influence the outcome of the 2016 presidential election. When the guilty verdicts were read this past week, America, in a tangible way, rechristened itself as a republic. It was a sobering reminder that every American is precisely equal before the law. I've always admired Thomas Jefferson for wanting no title before his name except Mr. Like the other founders, he didn't want or expect special treatment under the law.
This is long from over.
Former President Trump's conviction proves that in the eyes of the law, even an ex-president is just another Mr. It's also worth noting that this kind of jury trial never could have happened in the authoritarian countries that Mr. Trump so admires. Xi of China, Russia's Putin, Hungary's Orban, Erdogan of Turkey, none would ever be tried by a jury of their peers. Unlike those countries, the United States vigorously upholds the rule of law. Our founders ardently believed liberty and justice for all would bring monarchs, despots, and populist demagogues to heel. The good news
That's
is
enough.
our
That's enough.
judicial
It seems like he's reading an audio tape here. Populist demagogues, okay? Yeah, but we don't like populism either. You know why? Because populism means that people have intelligence. People see what's going on, not just the alleged elites or experts dictating that to us. So there's a fine line here between being reckless during COVID and going with crackpots. And we could talk about any number of them. And, well, Joe Rogan, Dan, I would put Rogan in the crackpot type of thing more than in the side. I mean, I like that he was provocative. He brought on different guests, but he's a crackpot in the end. You know, if you're taking your medical advice to him, I support your right to do it, but I don't support that as something that I think is valid. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. So the Republic was refreshed here by this conviction. The line that's out there right now about the Trump trial, it shows that we're all created equal. We're all on the same level. Now, that's not true. Hunter Biden is an example right here. This is a clear-cut case of what he did during his addiction. Various people are going to testify about his crack addiction and other people engaged. But in the end, he did this. Now, should he go to jail for doing this? As much as I despise the whole Biden enterprise and Hunter Biden, that's a question, you know, for the mistakes that can be made, how big of a crime is this, et cetera. But we're not going to say that with Trump. What we're going to do with Trump is we're going to cobble this together. Now, I do have some results. We had on Wesley Hunt, and he talked about how much money has been raised. The startling fact there is how new some of these donors are. Every day I get something from somebody telling me how much they're donating that they've never donated before. Several polls out. Let's see. Donald Trump was convicted of 34 charges. This is a YouGov poll, including for falsifying business records to reimburse his lawyer for payments made to an adult film actress. Does Donald Trump's conviction make you more likely to vote for him? 26%. Less likely to vote for him, 27%, 39% no. And I have a whole stack of polls here, particularly with independents, that one of two things is happening, at least in this point, and it's early on. People are either saying not much of a difference, it's not on the radar screen, or it's within a point one way or the other about more intensity for Trump or less intensity. In other words, there's nothing staggering happening here except for one thing. This is not getting people on the other side fired up to go after Trump more as much as it's energizing people. Now, the question is, though, will this energy fade? Are these people donating money, coming to rallies, buying Trump gear? Will they show up and vote? And I got to tell you, because I want to win, I'm not sure of that. There's only one way I know to take these people who are fired up over this but may not vote, and that's to try to get them early on to bank their vote, mail-in balloting. And there's only one person that can do that. I don't want to be looking back and saying on November 6th, only if Trump had talked about the mail-in ballot more directly, early voting, those kinds of things. Certainly the money's rolling in. The polling is indicative of this being a wash at this point. Now, things could turn. And I think it's approaching 50-50 that Judge Marchand could recommend or demand jail time for President Trump. If he does that, then all bets are off the energy level that we'll see. But the polling so far is not hugely, I can't vote for Trump now. It's not there. There are people saying that, but there are people more energized on the other side by this. So, Democrats roll the dice on this. They may win marginally, or they may not. If there's more turnout of people now that are fired up over this, that will more than make up for those who are going to use it to say, I can't vote for Trump. So we're going to need weeks of this, is what I'm saying. We're going to need, once things fade, it's starting to feel to me like this. It seems like 1,000,000 years ago that the verdict came down. But the independents have not abandoned Trump in the 3 or 4 polls that I've seen. But it doesn't mean that it's not marginally harmful, potentially. But there are really good signs, too. So I would put it at this point at a wash. So how we go forward from here depends on what happens next with the sentencing. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Hunter Biden. And along those lines, what the Biden people say about it. That trial may be over in 2 weeks. All right, 855-839-1210, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless. All I need you to do is just push pound 1210. We'll get you on board. Got a lot more to say about Fauci, but I'm looking each day to see polling metrics that indicate what does this mean. And at this point, the money raised and the energy have an edge over any downside. Not to say that's going to continue to stick. And I'm still not. You're going to have to convince me. I mean, all the money in the world, people donating, raising, going to rallies, buying stuff, talking up Trump, we're outraged. Are they going to vote in the end? If you want to win, we're going to need Trump. And I know people, want to get into fantasy world. This is one already because these are all good results. Well, the only thing that matters is people actually voting. What would stop them from doing it? I mean, I can't answer by then. It could be 1,000,000 things. That's why just one big moment. Mail-in ballot, early voting, all the things he sort of mentioned on Truth Social. Just do that with a friendly interviewer. Get it out there all over the place. Take Trump saying it, move on, and then start to drill down with this. Good sign tonight as we had on Congressman Wesley Hunt. They're opening up an office, 8002 Frankfurt Avenue around 4:15, and I think he'll be there around 5. Volunteers. We're getting volunteers. We're getting volunteers to get out the vote. But you know what? You know what the ultimate endorsement here. We have to win. I just don't know why this is so difficult. Dan, do you have any theories? Surely. Let's go through them. Trump doesn't know how to pivot on this. Of course he does. He pivots on anything. In mid-sentence, he's the greatest. His footwork on pivoting, Look at the abortion. Look how he handled abortion. Is abortion front and center now? Now, abortion is lurking out there. We all know what the lurk is going to be. Is the Supreme Court going to say, because of the FDA and different restrictions, you can't be sending that birth control pill or medical across state lines? What am I betting on that one? Man, I'm betting on a 5-4. They're going to say you can't. And you know what's going to happen then? All hell's going to break loose. But for now, Trump has pivoted well, much better than a DeSantis or anybody else on abortion. Why can't he pivot on the mail-in ballot? Give it to me. Just give it. Why? You don't have an answer.
No, I have no idea.
I understand.
Yeah.
Is it stubbornness?
Like, is it because he thinks it's going to make him look hypocritical if he speaks out against it? I mean, we've been playing here that
right.
Essentially, that this is now the 3-point line, and you don't want to be the guys that aren't utilizing the 3-point line.
Right.
You got to play by the current rules, and you can also fight against the rules and try to get things changed, but they're currently set, and you got to play the game and try to win it while also fighting back against it. I don't know. Does Trump think that won't play with his voters? It's not going to lose voters because of that.
Yeah. Is that what it is? If you're a Trump supporter, does he think it's not going to play with you? He pivots on everything else. Dan, he put the people that are just our way or the highway pro-lifers. Where are they now? Are they bringing down the Trump campaign? No, they're scared to death. They're marginalized. He didn't give them what they wanted. Ron DeSantis tried to do it. 6-week abortion ban. Insanity. Who came out well in this? Trump. Why is this the one stumbling area? Just say it. I'd like to hear it once a month. Anecdotes, things of that nature, joking, whatever. Talk to Scott Presler. Talk to others with expertise in this. Athen, our guy here. It shows that this has been buttoned up, right?
The only other thing I can think is, in Donald Trump's mind, does he think that there's no way we're going to have a secure election if we have mail-in ballots? It just makes it easier for the Dems to cheat?
Okay, and then what my counter is, though, Dan? I look at the playing field here. So the referees are going to let the Democrats, if their foot touches the line, still give them 3 points. So we're not going to shoot 3-pointers at all, though, while they're shooting them, right?
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
Yeah. So I just think of that poor woman out of Montgomery County, who's, I think, a brilliant jurist, Carlucci, right on the show, against a hack. The McCaffrey guy.
All right, here's another angle. PA Pyrotechnic fan on YouTube. The YouTube channel, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Please go like and subscribe. It says, nobody's going to leave Trump, and we need to make sure that they don't cheat. So I'm assuming, reading between the lines, that, this would essentially be hypocritical in his eyes for Trump to utilize mail-in balloting while call it a way to cheat.
Okay, well, I'll tell you right here and right now, then, you're not going to win. Why didn't we win in 2020? What is it that's different? They're using the mail-in ballot. We only need a few more percentage points. What don't you understand? Do you want to not win? That's the only thing that matters here, winning.
I mean, make it harder for them to cheat, and you do that
that's
by
right.
overloading their systems with mail-in ballots.
Right. Well, we're talking about election integrity is the defense, and mail-in balloting is the offense. We're not just talking about offense here. We're talking about defense.
Bill Baggins just reinforced. Maybe he knows it's easier to steal our votes in the mail. He's usually right and has more info than we do.
How are they? All right. So
I don't know.
So why have Democrats won in these other election after election years since we've had mail-in balloting? Well, what's different this time then? This is still relatively close. 855-839-1210. I am the biggest proponent of an all-out hand-to-hand combat on election integrity. That means closing up every loophole we can, putting the fear of God. We told you yesterday they have like 400 lawsuits already fighting on this. All right? What do you want them to do exactly on that front? They're still going to try to do it. We have to limit it as much as we can.
Does it make it easier for Wynn to say, hey, look, if you're going to fight so hard against this, why did you utilize it yourself? Is that what we're fearful of?
I don't know. I thought this was passed.
Me too.
And you can't really believe, though, that you're going to show up on Election Day, say 1 million votes down in Pennsylvania, and pull it out on Election Day. Not going to happen. All right, 855-839-1210, you get on board.
And again, I want to underline, you said they should really look to Scott Presler. Like, the guy has taken off virally on Twitter because there are so many Trump supporters that see the value in what he's doing. I don't see why Trump himself doesn't see it.
I think he does. I'm sure Laura Trump. Does Laura Trump want to lose? Laura Trump is in his ear probably day and night. All right, AT&T. If you want to invest money in having, Dan, right now, get people then to work in the Postal Service. Put them under, I'm serious. Put them undercover, invest $1 million in it, just in the swing states, to sniff out any and all things that they may try to do. I'm on board with that. Tell me what you want to do on the defense. I'm on board.
Well, you know how the left media is going to frame that is, Trump instills Postal Service workers to aid in him cheating.
That's okay. They can do that. But I'm convinced you're not going to win if you don't take advantage of the three-point shot. Not going to win on Election Day.
More on Twitter?
Yes.
Coin Collector says, because Democrats count them all, the mail-in ballots.
Count them. I don't know what that means.
Like he's saying that the ones that are doing the counting of the mail-in balloting behind the scenes are all Democrats, so you know they're going to treat them unfairly and biased.
Well, that's not true because we've already talked about this, even with drop boxes, Dan. 57 out of the counties in Pennsylvania are run by Republicans. We've already addressed that. Put the drop box at a gun shop, at a church, all the usual places where Democrats are not going to show up. They have the power to do it. Do it. Because they're going to put drop boxes out there. Now, having monitors of those drop boxes and being on them, that's the defense. The offense is put them out there in the red counties in Pennsylvania. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. And I don't want to be the guy, see, I told you so, you didn't do mail-in ballot. I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want to have any November 6th conversation like that. I want one thing to win. If you can show me still coming out against mail-in balloting is the way to win, I got to see that. You got to convince me. You can send me emails. You can tell me your argument. We ought to be all out against mail-in balloting. If you're so afraid of it, that's the way to win. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all you need to do is just push pound 1210. Let's talk Captain Chucky's for a moment. Father's Day, summer cookouts, all good reasons to make the call to Captain Chucky's. Order delicious seafood, make that gathering a hit. Let Captain Chucky's help. Don't forget to order the brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. Delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. Important to call them up. Perfect time to check out all of Captain Chucky's offerings. Delicious stuffed mushrooms, salads, tremendous variety of homemade sides, desserts. They have it all. They also have several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes. Literally a crab cake for everybody. Soup, sides, appetizers. Highest quality ingredients always. And that Gulf shrimp, it's a huge hit. It's always wild caught, never farm raised. Try it once, and it's going to be on your table all the time, the delicious Dom rolls. So visit Captain Chucky's today. There's a location near you. Go to WeLoveCrabCakes.com, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Find out where your nearest Captain Chucky's is located. If you're headed to the shore, don't forget Captain Chucky's is there too. Visit CaptainChucky's@theshore.com.
Hey, it's Nick. Join me for WPHT's Veteran Spotlight, a program where we shine a spotlight on one outstanding local veteran in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation, celebrating their remarkable commitment to community service and their exceptional service in the military. This Wednesday, June 5th, we honor Dale Weatherall, United States Marine Corps veteran, for his service and his exemplary contribution to the veteran community. presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Free speech lives here.
The Dom Giordano program.
On Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. The hopeful note is that President Biden is at least pretending to do something about the border. Now it's up to President Trump and Republicans to frame this correctly, to make 2 points. One, why do this suddenly with the power that you find? Why not just do what Trump did, which was keep people in Mexico? Why continue to pretend that you're doing a little bit of this, but not too much of it? And then give them the numbers of people between gotaways and people we're allowing asylum to get in, or alleged asylum. It will still probably reach easily 1 million people this year. So I'm starting to be convinced in certain areas, when we talk with Wesley Hunt today, with certain voters, that this is the number one issue, or this is an issue they bring up emotionally. But it's not just about these policies. It's about the infrastructure of the election. It's about winning. And I can tell we still have people out there that think, okay, I can't sign off on this. So you believe you're going to win just on Election Day. You know, Laura Trump, people like that. Do you think they're not knowledgeable of what's going on here? Michael Whatley, Dan, that guy is the preeminent guy from 2020. That's why Trump picked him, to try to put a stop to Democrat shenanigans, the head of the RNC. And he's on the show, and nationally I had him on. He's on board with mail-in balloting. It's a two-pronged approach. But if you don't do it, you're going to continue to get these results. They're starting a game. They're firing at a basket, running up and down the field for days before you get the first shot. It's not possible unless it's just a blowout. And this is going to be close. I mean, the odds are on the side of Trump in this, jail time or not jail time, for obvious reasons with Biden. But it's going to be close. So you need to do two things. You need to stop their shenanigans as best you can, and you need to bank your vote and turn out your vote. Let's go to Jeff in Cinnaminson. He's in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Jeff. Good afternoon.
Hey, Dom, it's Jeff. Let me do me a favor. Let me pull over here real quick.
Sure. Yeah, be careful.
Please do that, Jeff.
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on my way back to work, and they actually closed the road right up in there. Well, okay, so I just have a real quick comment.
Sounds miserable.
That I don't understand why all Republicans aren't saying that we expect the Democrats to cheat. Like, why isn't everyone on the right saying that? You know, I mean, if we're going to be serious about winning, I think the issue that we had with court cases in 2020 was latches, right? So they didn't have anything prepared, so they couldn't come back and say, "Oh, you didn't expect a problem, so we're not going to see your evidence." So we should be telling courts that, yeah, we expect to see a problem, so prepare for these cases.
Well, they already are. I mean, again, Dan, Dan, would you just take a note, and I'll help you with it. I'm going to put a stop to some of this stuff, though, Jeff. I'm going to get Stephen Miller on. Now, that guy ought to be impeccable as a driven Trump guy.
Yeah, we can do that.
He's already filed, I think, 400, 600 preemptory lawsuits going after them on this. But, Jeff, I have to say, we were caught with our pants down with Zuckerbucks and what they rolled out at that point in 2020. Even though we were talking about it in talk radio, they seemed to be in shock with it. It was very effective. And I still think that these early polling places they set up, they're polling places. If you're dropping a vote off there, that's a polling place. We ought to be able to watch you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's obvious. But I mean, aside from that, though, say, for example, when anybody on the media says, are you going to accept the results?
Right.
We should be saying, we expect you to cheat.
Well, yeah, no, right. That's it. Well, and, Jeff, we showed what they're driven to. The best example I can give is the Bookvar woman who was the Secretary of State, so driven to push Biden over the finish line. Her office of about 100 people did not put out the legal notice on the vote for victims of sexual abuse to open that up. As a result, those poor people have had to wait. Now it's going on like 4 years, and she was ousted from her position. That's how crazed she was. She was in the center of it. But here's a question for you. What about mail-in balloting? That's the offense side.
Yeah, we have to. We've got to do everything. Like you're saying, it's like we're not taking the 3-point shot. We have to participate while we fight. We can't take our pieces off the table and then expect to win. It's insane.
Yeah, but I like your answers to say yes. We expect them to cheat. Why does Philadelphia have this reputation? Because they do it, and they've done it over the years. Thank you, Jeff, and drive safely. I mean, then you get the thing, well, there's cheating, but it wasn't enough to make a difference. Dan, you know what the metric of how effective, and I've told this to Laura Trump on the air, how effective they'll be with volunteers. And I'm betting, it's an awful ask. Are we going to have a poll watcher in every polling place in Philadelphia on Election Day? Linda Kearns has gone crazy with great stuff, Laura Trump and all. And the only way that you're going to do that, Dan, you got to put money into it. You have the poll watcher. You have a guard that is legally able to carry in Philadelphia, right? And you have a lawyer that's covering maybe 8 to 10 of these in a small geographic area. That's what's needed in Philadelphia. A poll watcher in every place, a guard, and lawyer for every 8 to 10 of these people. If we ever got 100% of poll watchers in Philadelphia, it would be a miracle. Maybe even 50%. That's what you're up against.
You want more YouTube comments?
Yeah, go ahead.
Suze loves Jeffy. YouTube.com/@12WPHT. Go like and subscribe. Says, I'm not against mailing it in, just skeptical it makes sense when I go in person and know my vote was taken. If I mail it in, I can't go to the polls too. When I dropped off my ballot at our local library, there were 2 men watching the box. Both looked at it to be sure I had signed and dated it. So they're saying feels more comfort that knowing that her vote will be counted, and I guess spreading the message to other conservatives that to ensure that your vote is indeed counted, you have to be there physically at the polls.
Right. I hear that. And Dan, here's the other thing. We're drilling down to the most granular possible, right? And I'm not even doing this as my mission. I'm still doing talk radio. But when we had Laura Trump on, and we can play that back, it's not today. We talked about chain of custody, and she was all on that. It's not just at the polling place. It's at the counting places, okay? We have Linda Kearns on. We're on that. They're on it. Now, that doesn't mean there's not something going on out there that you got to be ready for any shock with what they're up to. But that's the defense side. What about the offense side? All right, more calls coming up. Here's how you get in right now. 855-839-1210. You get on board with Dom and Dan. Hit us on the side question, too, on Talk Radio 1210.
If you put the words retirement savings crisis into Google, you'll get about 81 million references to explore. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, crazy markets, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. Don't trade the stress of work for a new kind of stress in retirement. Call Jim Cipriotti today, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415 to schedule your complimentary retirement second opinion. Or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles.
Highly logical.
Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills, too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Imagine outpatient care where all your needs are met in one location. Jefferson Health's Honickman Center is where you'll discover nationally ranked specialty care and more, like patient ambassadors, imaging and lab services, a pharmacy, calming spaces, and valet parking. Designed by patients, for patients. Discover a new level of care, created with you in mind. To schedule an appointment, call 1-800-JEFF-NOW.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies, and we can probably help you too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Another very warm day today with a mixture of sunshine and clouds. High temperature up around 87. For tonight, partly cloudy and mild. Low 66 for the city, cooler out in the suburbs. And for Wednesday, becoming mostly cloudy with some late-day showers and storms. High 84.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Okay, it is Dom time. Welcome in. So I'm just looking, Mike Watley we've had on, the head of the RNC. And he is a great, he'd be, if you follow NBA, Tom Thibodeau, he'd be the defensive genius. He's the guy Trump brought in to push back on this, to sniff out all of it, co-chair of the RNC. He was on Newsmax today. And he said that, yes, they are preparing for the possibility that President Trump could address the Republican National Convention from prison. You know, I realize how limiting this stuff would be. But if Marshawn dared to put him in prison, how would that cut? I think it cuts Trump's way. I think people would say, you know, that's it. It's one thing, this conviction, what we've seen, the energy around that. But imprisoning him 4 days before the election, that's why I like that Congressman Mills' idea to nominate Trump. It would be digital. They wouldn't be in Milwaukee yet. On July 4th. Do it on July 4th. You get another bite at the apple then, particularly if it's from prison, part 2. All right. But more is needed on the offensive side. Defensive side, I think they're doing great stuff. Now, you're going to say, yeah, but what about this? What about? Okay, that's what they're going to try to do. I'm not saying you're going to shut down every element of this. What we're trying to do is to shut down enough to win and or continue to prosecute after the election, you know, keep it in balance. Maybe the Supreme Court has to get into. Who knows at this point? That's how close this could be. But I'm convinced more every day by everybody that I talk with that are right on top of this stuff that it's going to come down to Pennsylvania. Here's what the best scenario is coming down to. Trump looks great, even post. The polling has not changed in the swing states of Arizona, Georgia, and even Nevada. As tough as, in fact, here's a big lawsuit, Dan. In Nevada, they're going all out as we speak, several Trump operative groups, to take out of the voting rolls those who are registered to vote, saying their residence is a casino, not a hotel room, but the casino. I mean, and stuff like that. There's thousands of them. They're on it. They're going after it. That's all that you can do in this situation. I would bet anything Trump's going to win Georgia. It looks tremendous there. And Arizona, even with the difficulties with Phoenix, I realize. And Nevada, which has gone Democrat, I think he's got a better chance than Biden there. So if he does that, and he holds what he got in 2020, which I think is going to happen, it comes down to he has to pull off either Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania. And I still think in the end, Michigan is tough territory. All right, I know about the Muslim vote, Arab vote. Oh, I know all that stuff. But I just think, and Wisconsin is amazing that he won there in 2016. It comes down to where we are. So what's the best course of action? All right, side question today is, hit us with that all-time fictional town, TV or film. Let's go to Robert in Ben Salem. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today. I would just tell everybody to just Google the Barrington Accord, Barrington Accord, and they will see that there was a lot of refutation to Dr. Fauci out there, but the media just never told us about it.
Yeah, and Dr. J is one of the most prominent guys over at Stanford. So when people ask me to name somebody prominent who was mainstream but was against what Fauci was saying, he's probably the biggest gun that I can bring out.
Well, I would submit to you that if you're looking for a day of reckoning, you're never going to get it with this current media that we have. They won't allow it. But I have an idea. For every sign somebody sees that has a picture of Trump with convicted felon next to it, put up a sign next to it with a picture of Joe Biden that says unconvicted felon. And I'll bet you that'll resonate more with voters than all the money they spent to persecute Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
My side answer for today is Bedrock. Not because it's a place I want to live. It looks like the architecture is very basic, and they don't even have screens in their windows. And their pet cats are bigger than I am. So I think I'll avoid it. But I think it was a nice town to watch on the Flintstones. You guys have a great day.
All
man.
right, thank you, Robert. All right, more calls coming up here at 855-839-1210. Don't forget, we'll have Dom's Money Melody with Dan back at the controls. Biden ready to speak today to tell us what he's going to do on the border. But I get you on your concern coming off 2020. And I can tell you the RNC is not just looking at polling places, but the chain of custody of those votes. Where do they go? The central counting and all that. The biggest thing they have to rally around in Pennsylvania, they have the money. The count does not stop no matter what. They have to keep counting, tagging another group of people to count. All right, more calls coming up. Let's talk FanDuel first, though. The NBA playoffs have tipped off, but it's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Right now, new customers, you get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to use on same-game parlays, live bets, championship futures, and a lot more. And no better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/DOM, D-O-M, to get started. Now, FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. They expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. Get ready for spring with njdiet.com.
I joke around and with my wife and call it my bionic knee.
But before Ernest became a patient with QC Kinetics, it was a different story.
I'd go to bed with my knee throbbing, heat, ice. I would get up in the middle of the night to get a drink or something, and I would just be hobbling.
He wasn't able to play on his rec basketball team or work in the yard. But QC Kinetics regenerative treatments turned around the situation without surgery or downtime, using Ernest's own healing properties to help restore his aching knee, now known as Ernest's bionic knee.
I am really happy because I am playing the game that I love so much, and I'm playing with my granddaughter, and I'm gardening, and I'm on my knees, and I'm jumping up. I have a 200-pound dog, and I'm playing with my dog.
Now Ernest is living his best life thanks to QC Kinetics, and so can you. Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Right now, someone you know is hungry. The Catholic Charities Appeal needs your help to provide hope to those in need. 1 in 5 people benefits from the money we raise. I'm Ernie Russum, board president of the Appeal. Please donate at CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org.
Hey, Mount Laurel, we know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time.
I can handle things. I'm smart, not like everybody says.
With Dom.
That's right. It's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan Time with Dom. And Dom, today I'm going to start in the sports world. First, I want to say maybe we dodged a bullet. You were talking about the eye test in sports earlier, and someone that you weren't fond on keeping, and you didn't seem too sad to see leave, was Hassan Reddick, who now with the Jets, Dom, I want to report, former defensive player for the Eagles, now with the Jets, who was traded over there. Not showing up for OTAs, entering into a contract dispute with his new team, Dom.
No, not a good look. Yeah, absolutely.
Not surprising in the world of sports also, though. Kind of under the radar, Ippei Mizuhara. Dom, do you recognize that name? Remember that name? That's Shohei Ohtani's agent.
Yes.
That
yeah.
allegedly stole $17 million from the star baseball player in effort to pay off sports betting debts. So, Dom, he's now admitted that, and he pleads guilty to fraud. Question, though, do you think there needs to be questions into whether or not Shohei Ohtani was involved with this, or if he actually did just steal the money? Because I don't know, if I'm a player making that kind of money and I want to make some bets, I'm doing it through a third party, and if I get caught, that person's taking the fall.
They're not going to do it with him because he has got more money than anybody ever. He is a bridge to Asian Americans and others, and he's with the big franchise, the Dodgers. So they're not going to drill down on it, Dan, even though they tell us that Major League Baseball just banned a guy for life who was played on San Diego today. Banned him for life for betting.
So you think this just goes completely under the radar and we forget about it, though, with Shohei?
I think so, because they're weasels, and I don't think they investigated it thoroughly. It's hard to believe he would let this guy bet millions unknown that he'd be able to get away with this.
A guy, Dom, that I grew up hating, but I got to say, rest in peace. All-time great cowboy, Dallas Cowboy, Larry Allen Sunday, passed away unexpectedly on a family trip in Mexico. Dom, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you worry about the totality of whatever these guys experienced during their playing career. That's the first thing I think of. A lot of deaths, a lot of physical difficulty in their 40s and early 50s.
So a TikToker, Dom, has gone viral. She sparks a debate talking about, she's a millennial, talking about the difference between Gen X, her older generation, and Gen Z, saying that she went out to a restaurant and noticed a Gen X boss vocally berating a Gen Zer. After 15 minutes, the Gen Zer admitted that she forgot the orders of the table, that she was serving. Right. So she says that maybe a little bit overboard, and Gen X should readdress how they communicate with Gen Z, because Gen Z doesn't respond to vocal, yells and that kind of thing. The Gen Zer started crying and panicking. So, Dom, is it the Gen X responsibility to reframe how they treat their employees, or is it the Gen Z responsibility to just suck it up and do their job?
I'd say the latter. It's more of that. I can't imagine you have people just screaming at them, et cetera. Probably they just said, hey, that's not right, and that's enough. Yeah.
It's like, come on, just do your, how are you forgetting an order and only admitting after 15 minutes of not. And then finally, Dom, we'll stick on TikTok. Ashley Babank, a very attractive TikToker, is now saying that she's been single for 8 months because men are intimidated. She's too pretty and smart that no man wants to approach her. They're surprised that she doesn't have a love life, but all men are intimidated. Do you think there is that aspect in society that when a woman is both pretty and smart, it's hard for her to find a date?
No, that's ludicrous. There are guys out there who shouldn't be trying that are trying. They're under the theory of I'll ask $1 million and I'll get one. In fact, there was a great moment yesterday. Piers Morgan, Jim, Dan.
Whoa.
I had never had on. I wanted to. He's got a panel going, and this woman is very left arguing about Trump, and he tells her in the middle, don't think that Donald Trump would ever consider having sex with you. What a put down. It was just merciless.
Yeah. I feel like those that try for the tens, though, are the ones that wear the too much cologne, and they're kind of snakish, and I don't know, do you really want those as your types? And maybe the nice guys aren't going for that because they just don't have the confidence to do so. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not believing. If she's all that smart and all that beautiful, then there's something else wrong there. Men will go after.
I got a couple more social media stories I'll sprinkle in throughout the week, Dom, but that's all I got this week for Dan Time with Dom.
All right, coming up, a little bit more on Dr. Fauci. It seems like we scratched more than the surface today. The best column that I read on, and I'll summarize it, that really takes us back to COVID. It's amazing to me, and I get it, why. That COVID and a day of reckoning of what happened here, not a major part of this election. The border today with Biden indicates the heat that he's feeling. And what he's going to do is he's going to put something down on paper, and then he's still going to allow a lot of getaways. That will be the strategy, trying to please the American public that he's doing something. This is really hurting him on the border, even a little bit more than we thought. Fox is just running a headline right now that parents groups are protesting migrant surge in U.S. schools. They're being overcrowded, overrun with this. It has so many aspects to it, and it ties into African-American voters. Big 2 o'clock hour, Dom's Money Melody 2 on Talk Radio 1210.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating.
Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems.
Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Hey, this is Ray Didinger. I had the opportunity to open the new Joe Conklin show. It was sensational. It includes all the impressions, Iverson, Merrill, and Mike Barkley. They brought in this whole musical component with a full orchestra. It's really good. His daughter Casey's part of it. His brother's part of it. They can rock it, boy. So you got all the music, plus you got all the comedy. It's a great night.
That's Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood Catholic High School on June 29th and the Ocean City Music Pier on July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Hey, it's Dawn for Anderson Mechanical Corporation. AMC does a variety of commercial and industrial work. Their fascinating projects include multi-location businesses, large car dealerships, even medical care facilities. AMC's clients appreciate their commitment to staying on budget, value engineering, and completing projects correctly, no matter what it takes. Call AMC at 215-766-9890. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Attention Montgomery County residents, there's a new doctor in town, the Glass Doctor, your go-to expert for all things auto glass. Whether it's a cracked windshield or a pesky chip, the Glass Doctor of Fort Washington team makes house calls with our state-of-the-art mobile repair unit. Or we can treat your glass panes in our 6,000-square-foot facility in Montgomery County with precision and care. Don't wait. Call the Glass Doctor of Fort Washington right now, 484-96-GLASS. Call now and schedule your appointment to see the Glass Doctor of Fort Washington difference, 484-96-GLASS.
At Infinity of Westchester, we believe in transparency, fairness, and above all, serving our customers with care. Whether you're looking for a brand new Infinity or a reliable pre-owned vehicle, we have something for everyone. This month, save up to $15,000 on select Infinity models. And that's not all. Every new Infinity purchase comes with 3 years free maintenance. So don't wait. Visit us in-store or online today at infinityofwestchester.com. Philly rides with us.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. We're awaiting President Biden. We'll bring you a little bit of it to announce executive actions on the border, things he said he couldn't do before as they play this game because they are seeing how big of an issue this is developing into every day. So what they're going to try to do is what they would have done if Republicans had agreed to that phony deal. On paper, they'll continue to pretend in various ways, and Mayorkas is good at just saying it and looking you right in the face that they're doing something about the border. Meanwhile, the ticker, the counter, official and unofficial, will still reach 1 million a year, if not more. Who knows how many? And again, when you look back over the year, the master stroke that brought a lot of this home was Governor Abbott in Texas, somewhat DeSantis, sending people to New York, Denver, places like that, Chicago, that has kept it on the radar screen. It was morally correct and politically correct. And Fox has done a great job through Grip Jenkins, our guy, and Bill Malugin. Both of them on the border have been unbelievable. The biggest startling change to me is the number of people coming from places like China, or remember that guy coming from French Guinea that Malugin had, Dan, and he was holding materials saying where he was going to go in Philadelphia? I'm telling you, we moved heaven and earth to try to get Fox to give up exactly where he was going here. It was to Southwest Philly, I believe. They wouldn't tell us, though. And what Biden is trying to do is batten down the hatches on this issue enough that he can be plausible in the debate and things of that nature to say, look at what actions they took. They would take more. When we all know all he had to do is just leave the Trump actions in place, and that would have been more than enough. Trump, by keeping people in Mexico to apply for asylum, that's the secret sauce. That's what you do with this. And then beef up the Border Patrol, build the wall. Those are all the things that will help to prevent this. Now, the new presidente in Mexico, first female president, I'm getting a bad vibe. She is apparently a climate scientist. So I don't expect a lot of crackdown, a lot of help going on here. All right? And this issue has, even with what inflation is doing, we had on Wesley Hunt, African-American congressman from Houston, who was talking about black voters and legal Latinos and Trump and opening up a big office here in Philadelphia tonight in Frankfurt, saying that, yes, these are the groups that feel the most undercut by this with illegal labor, all the things that go into it. So it's time to call out the phony labor unions. How can the phony labor unions, like here in Philadelphia, Dan, and I've said it to their face over the years. Johnny Doc would almost tell me, well, we're in agreement with you, but I don't see anything happening. You're still voting for Democrats if you're in a union. You're still doing it. Who is it that can undercut? Then they just blame the employer. Well, I want the employer to go to jail, too. I want all of it to stop. The unions apparently don't, because they keep on voting for the party that undercuts them with this stuff in one way or another. Then you have African-American voters undercut. I mentioned the headline. Parents sick and tired of the overcrowding in school with people that don't speak English or anything else that are engaged in this. Then you have the Catholic Church involved. The one shining light in this, though, with all these forces arrayed against us, Wall Street Journal, throw them in. Then I know you had something, Dan. They have not won. They have not been able to get what they want as doctrine on paper, so-called comprehensive immigration reform, even with all those elements arrayed against us. Now, they're winning on the ground game, and year after year, they're bringing in numbers. But that's what this election is about. It's another opportunity to engage in this. And with what's going on today, Biden thinks this is clever, that Trump will not be able to articulate when they debate or Republicans can't. People will buy the idea. He's trying. Look at what he's doing now. And yet Republicans won't help. That's what the argument is. Yeah, Dan, what'd you have?
No, I just turned my mic on quickly because I thought Biden was coming to the stage. Sorry about that.
So we'll bring you a little bit of it when he announces. We have Dom's Money Melody going on here, too, today. A lot with Garland today, with Jim Jordan and others, going back and forth over the connection between the DOJ and and Bragg and what happened with President Trump. We also kind of stumbled into this whole thing, and we'll get you people on to reassure you a bit. I mean, occasionally we need reassurance that forces are mobilized to prevent them from doing the shenanigans that were done in 2020. Here's a little bit of the Garland story today. Is this the one where he's talking about the hair tape?
Yes.
Yeah. Why in the world can't America hear Joe Biden and see? I think they have it videoed. When he was interviewed by Robert Hur, the special counsel appointed by Garland to look into what Biden clearly did in the documents thing with his biographer, showing the biographer classified documents. But the main thing they don't want us to see is how addled Biden was in that. Here's what Garland said.
Let me be clear. If anyone threatens public servants with violence, we will hold them accountable. And we will continue to protect our democratic institutions like this one and to bring to justice all those criminally responsible for the January 16th attack on our democracy. As Attorney General, I will continue to forcefully defend the independence of the Justice Department from improper influence or interference of any kind. And I will continue to fiercely protect the integrity of our criminal investigations. Nothing will deter me from fulfilling my obligation to uphold the rule of law. Fulfilling that obligation includes ensuring that the Justice Department respects Congress's important role in our democracy. That is why we have gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure that the committee gets responses to its legitimate requests for information. That is why I have provided the committee with Special Counsel Hur's report, why the Special Counsel testified for more than 5 hours, and why we have gone beyond precedent to provide the committee with the transcripts of the Special Counsel's interview with the President. But we have made clear that we will not provide audio recordings from which the transcripts that you already have were created. Releasing the audio would chill cooperation with the department in future investigations, and it could influence witnesses' answers if they thought the audio of their law enforcement interviews would be broadcast to Congress and the public. Now, in response, certain members of this committee and the Oversight Committee are seeking contempt as a means of obtaining, for no legitimate purpose, sensitive law enforcement information that could harm the integrity of future investigations.
I don't know if they probed that. Yeah, buddy, tell us how this would harm anything here. We all know what it's about. You don't want people to see Biden. Biden said this was ridiculous, what Hur said about him. Remember, this is one of the few guys that had him one-on-one for hours or a few hours on this whole thing. And how hard it was to believe that this guy's the commander-in-chief. That's what they don't want us to see or hear. I'd rather see the full visual to get a sense of it with Biden. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get on board. I mentioned one more note on Dr. Fauci because we're still swirling around here until Biden announces this executive order. The best summary of this that I've read was in the New York Post. They say many adherents found in Fauci a religious purpose during COVID, with a mask and needle serving as virtue signals, and trust the science as their main recitation. How many times do we hear that? Anyone with questions or objections was a heretic to be shamed. We were forced to mold our society around these arbitrary and draconian rules. Children's test scores went down. School absenteeism and depression shot up. Parents who advocated for schools to reopen were ostracized and called grandma killers. The 6-foot method that Fauci said shaped our mentality on everything from business to social gatherings. But I really like that. This was their religion. These were their mantras. These were their recitations. That's exactly what happened. I still think the biggest takeaway from all this, other than what was exposed in the last 2 times around with Fauci, is now what happens with the second in command that Fauci threw under the bus on where they having backdoor discussions so that we couldn't get Freedom of Information Act material on a lot of this stuff. That's next. That's where this could go next, and that's the biggest takeaway. All right, we'll bring you what President Biden says on the border and break it down here in a couple of minutes. But right now, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
All right, we're playing for a pair of tickets to see the great Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood Catholic Academy, North Wildwood, on Saturday, June... Dan, you'll have to tell me. His show is a musical tribute to Philadelphia sports featuring all of Conklin's impressions plus songs with Joe's daughter, his brother, guest performers. For tickets, you go to joeconklin.com. I think it's on
June 29th.
29th.
Yeah,
June 29th.
sorry about that. I cut
Joe
that off
Conklin.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Don, today we're talking about great towns, and I thought I'd take this is a tribute to my wife, Maisie, and one of her favorite television shows. The town almost plays a character in this longtime cult favorite show of women, so I'm throwing the ladies a bone here. I'm going to play a theme song of this, a different part of a longer song. But Dom, I want to see if our listeners can tell me what song this serves as a theme song for. So Dom, here's your clue. We want to know the television show that this song serves as the TV theme song. Take a look. I gotta say, I really like this show too. When I hear this theme song, I kind of get warm.
Carole
inside.
King, absolutely.
Yeah, Carole King, yep.
All right, so 855-839-1210. Hit us with that. We'll get a winner, and then we'll see what the loser Biden plan is on the border, or substandard, the Etzel that he's crafting. We'll bring you that too with Dom on Talk Radio 1210.
Always wanted a real home.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Guys in the break room, I go in there to get coffee, and they're all looking at this Chex Mix thing. It's all melded like a Dorito turd that's in the bag.
In the vending machine?
Yeah, in the vending machine.
Well, there was a bag of chips hanging in the vending machine for like 5 days.
Yeah, it's been there for weeks, actually.
And it's like this close to falling off the ledge.
I've tried to shake it. It still goes nowhere.
Radio station kitchens are the greatest thing of all time. There's content fodder for days in that area.
Absolutely true.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. RAMP.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
If your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction, METC is here to help. The school year is ending, and now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and make the most of the rest of this school year and get a plan in place for your student this fall. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb. Our lives aren't like they used to be. They're busier. Early morning Zooms, grabbing coffee to make that in-office meeting, getting to your kid's soccer game on time. Life is different, and so is advertising. To reach any audience, you need your message out there in all media, broadcast to streaming, on screens, and right to the ears of your customers. And that's what we do at Odyssey. Let's build a media campaign that targets the customers you know and want to reach more of, right here in our community. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Out here, in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. And sometimes, that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up, you have trouble sleeping, maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is, there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take to find the right solution for you. Whether it's hearing stories about what other people are going through, or finding the resources we need to navigate the stresses in our lives. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Free speech lives here with Don Stenslin weekdays 10 till noon. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money. That's right. Let's hear the clue today and get a winner.
If you're out on the road, feeling lonely and so cold, all you have to do is call my name and I'll be there on the next
Sing it, Dom.
Now, I'm not going to spoil it
No,
today.
no.
Maybe at Mulligan's.
Are you a fan of the show?
I don't know the show. I know.
Oh, okay,
I know
okay,
the
gotcha.
song.
Yeah, once you hear the name, I'm sure Rose
Yeah, it should. Yeah. We're looking. What show is that the theme song for? Kathleen is next on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Kathleen, what's the show?
Gilmore Girls.
All righty. Yes, I don't think I've ever seen the Gilmore Girls.
Really?
No.
Never watched the
No, I've not. But I know
Fables
that.
of Rory and Lorelai.
And what is the town?
Stars Hollow, Connecticut, Dom. And Lorelai,
Okay.
she owns a bed and breakfast in the town. Her boyfriend Luke is the owner of a diner downtown. And just throughout the entire series, Stars Hollow is almost a character. I know way too much about the Gilmore Girls. Thank Maisie for that one, Dom.
Yes.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. A lot of our female audience is also, they were really quick on this one, the Gilmore Girls. A huge
A lot of
series
females
for
I see here.
entire
Yep.
generation, yeah.
All right, enjoy Joe Conklin. He does an amazing act. It's not just sports. It's a lot of other stuff, too. All right, we're still waiting. Why do they give it time that they never can fulfill the time? Little development in the Hunter Biden trial, okay? And yes, the despite the fact that, let's face it, he is a minor character versus what happened with President Trump. This guy's going to be convicted. I'm counting down the days. His current wife went to a Trump representative. The guy's name is Ziegler. He was a trade policy guy, and he was involved with what they don't like. Oh, boo-hoo. With the Hunter Biden laptop, the thing that is still shameful from the last election cycle. Could it have changed the election? Well, we'll never know due to what the media engaged in with it, if you remember. And she confronts this guy in the hallway, Dan. He was nowhere near her. Walks over, puts her finger in his face, and calls him a Nazi blank, blank, blank. Right away with the Nazi stuff. The Hunter Biden wifey there with Dr. Jill Biden today. It's going to be very interesting when we go through this trial. Here's a family. Joe Biden, his entire framework is talking about going after the NRA. What do these deers have Kevlar on them? How many times has he said that line about you don't need this stuff to hunt? The Revolutionary War, you couldn't have a cannon back then. How many times has he done that? And things are heating up. It's only day one there, and they can't take it. But Trump is supposed to be in the dock forever. So we'll see. Here's President Biden. You tell me when, Dan, because he's got to do the preliminaries here. Talking about his executive order and what it's going to be like at the border. That's something that is not necessarily new. It's just Trump light. You ready to go?
Yeah, I have it. I have audio. I don't know what he's talking about right now.
Okay, let's hear a little bit.
Republicans in Congress, not all, but walked away from it.
Walked away from
Why?
it, of course.
Because Donald Trump told them to.
Donald Trump told them to.
He told the Republicans, it has been published widely by many of you, that he didn't want to fix the issue. He wanted to use it. It was a cynical and an extremely cynical political move. And a complete disservice to the American people who are looking for us to not to weaponize the border, but to fix it. Today, I'm joined by a bipartisan group of governors, members of Congress, mayors, law enforcement officials, most of whom live and work along the southern border. They know the border is not a political issue to be weaponized. The responsibility we have to share, to do something about it. They don't have time for the games played in Washington, and neither do the American people. So today, I'm moving past Republican obstruction and using the executive authorities available to me as president to do what I can on my own to address the border. Frankly, I would have preferred to address this issue through bipartisan legislation because that's the only way to actually get the kind of system we have now.
That's not true.
Fixed. To hire more border patrol agents or asylum officers.
Yeah, of course you can. Hire them. What are you doing? Hire them.
Today, I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum. Migrants will be restricted from receiving asylum at our southern border unless they seek it after entering through an established lawful process. And those who seek to come to the United States legally, for example, by making an appointment and coming to a port of entry, asylum will still be available to them, still available. But if an individual chooses not to use our legal pathways, if they choose to come without permission and against the law, they'll be restricted from receiving asylum and staying in the United States. This action will help us to gain control of our border, restore order into the process. This ban will remain in place until the number of people trying to enter illegally is reduced to a level that our system can effectively manage. We'll carry out this order consistent with all our responsibilities under international law, every one of them. In addition to this action, we recently made important reforms in our asylum system, more efficient and more secure reforms. The goal is to deliver decisions on asylum as quickly as possible.
10 years.
The quicker decision means that a migrant is less likely to pay a criminal smuggler thousands of dollars to take him on a dangerous journey, knowing that if in fact they move in the wrong direction, they're returned around quickly. And 2 weeks ago, the Department of Justice started a new docket in the immigration courts to address cases where people who've recently crossed the border and they make a decision within 6 months rather than 6 years, because that's what happens now. Additionally, the Department of Homeland Security has proposed new rules to allow federal law enforcement to more quickly remove asylum seekers that have criminal convictions and remove them from the United States. My administration has also recently launched new efforts to go after criminal networks that profit from smuggling migrants to our border and incentivize people to give tips to law enforcement, provide information that brings smugglers to justice. We're also sending additional federal prosecutors to hotspots along the border and prosecute individuals who break our immigration laws. One other critical step that we will be taking, and that has made a huge difference. We continue to work closely with our Mexican neighbors instead of attacking Mexico. And it's worked. We've built a strong partnership of trust between the Mexican President Lopez Obrador, and I'm going to do the same with the Mexican
President you are.
who I spoke with yesterday. We've chosen to work together with Mexico as an equal partner, and the facts are clear. Due to the arrangements that I've reached with President Obrador.
Okay, Dan, you can stop here. I got enough build-up here, and people are driving off the road. Let's go to that last part first. No, you're not going to work with Mexico. And yes, Trump is right for going after them. DeSantis is more right about going after them. Bomb those cartel drug labs. Okay? We have a problem with fentanyl. We have a lot of Americans into that. We have to deal with addiction, but this is a large part of it coming from China. So we're not working with the Mexicans. You're never going to work with the Mexicans on this. They don't feel there's any gain for them on this. Trump had to deal with this, and he was right to push back against him. They're an adversary. The other thing is these people that are coming and going through the ports of entry seeking alleged asylum. They know the language that they have to say, the magic words about that, rather than they're coming here for economic conditions. And the first question the media ought to ask, what's going to happen with them if they come here through the ports of entry versus trying to do this illegally? They're going to be released into the country. Of course, the broader question is, why now? What is the trigger point? Let's take our time. Let's slow down. We have all day. What is it that suddenly triggered this? What magic happened that told you that you absolutely have this power that you told us you didn't have before? His answer is going to be, well, you know, I tried. It's much better to do it bipartisan manner with Republicans. We tried it several times. They're in a cult of Trump. And after we couldn't do that, that's why I'm doing this on my own now. Well, why did this not start with day one with you? Or why didn't you let the Trump policies, even if you wanted to modify them to fit your view, stay in place? Why did you engage in all this? He couldn't handle any of these questions, and I don't think people are going to buy this. But here's the point I'll make. This is better for them to do this. It's all about a game of inches. That's why they're doing this. This is better for them to do this than continue to allow what their policy has been in the optics of it. You know it, and I know. That's what the challenge is, to articulate against this now. In other words, as bad as this is, as phony as this is, it is not as bad for them as what Americans are telling you in poll after poll across all kinds of ethnic and racial and age lines. They're seeing what Biden is doing to America. I know it's hard to accept that, but that's the game. It's a game of inches. It looks better for them to do this than what they've been doing. You know that, and I know that. So now the challenge is how to articulate against this. All right, I'm going to take your calls coming up. Here's how you get in, 855-839-1210. As far as this part in partnership with Mexico, that's not true. Mexico has threatened them. They want billions and billions more dollars, and then maybe they'll play ball on the border. Trump had it right. He didn't get the time or didn't actually drill down and do it. Mexico and these other countries are dependent on remittances, meaning people coming here illegally and sending all that money back to these countries. And they're usually doing it through various wire services and the like. That's something we ought to take a look at, okay? These countries are determined to send us their economic and other problems. You know it, and I know it. Trump made this his signature issue. Biden, by the way, Dan, just turned and did this weirdo look again, the one he did when they asked him about Trump. What the hell is in this guy's mind?
Let me see if I can get the audio of what just
Yeah, let's hear
it. Here we go. It looks like he finishes up, and
we're wearing thin right now. Doing nothing is not an option. We have to act. We must act consistent with both our law and our values as Americans. I'll take these steps today, not to walk away from who we are as Americans, but to make sure we preserve who we are for future generations to come. Today, I've spoken about what we need to do to secure the border. In the weeks ahead, and I mean the weeks ahead, I'll speak to how we can make our immigration system more fair and more just. Let's fix the problem and stop fighting about it. I'm doing my part. We're doing our part. Congressional Republicans should do their part. Thank you very much. Welcome to Washington.
so he's confused behind it.
Talking later.
Still behind the podium now, walking away. Sorry, I spoke over them. Going back 10 seconds there. Why do you play politics with a war? And he turns around slowly and looks at the reporter.
I don't think so. He's trying to work out a serious problem he has. Thank you.
I thought this was the face he's making is this new sly, evil look that he gives. He gave that same face he did when asked about the Trump hush money verdict, Dan. I thought he was doing that again. That's the new Biden.
Well,
here.
it's the face of a guy who is told that he's only going to be faced with questions that are expected and then get hits with an unexpected question is what I think it is. And he's shooting the eyes back like, why are you asking me this question that's not predetermined?
Okay. I thought it was more the verdict face he made. Like, we got him.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But you're right. It didn't follow from the question about the war here with this guy. All right. So, he at least went off the right way of the stage. I think they have giant arrows right there at his feet the whole way. I'm sure they tell him, I don't care where you are, just walk off the stage, jump off the stage, anything. Just keep moving. All right, 855-839-1210. We'll get your response to this. Here's what you got to realize, though. Why are they doing this? It's obviously phony. Because they're hoping to buy time. They're hoping that this looks better than what they've been doing. All right, that's what the game is, and it's up to the Republicans to articulate that with the media, who won't report it themselves except for Fox. The numbers are staggering of who do you prefer on immigration, Trump versus Biden. I think particularly when Trump says, you know what, we're really going to address this, there's going to be deportation. And I think he's going to say that more. All right, let's talk about June, and it's Men's Health Month with Rescue Natural Supplements. Life is busy. It can be hard to focus on your health. Thankfully, Rescue Men's Health Supplements have the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that provide men with what they need. Rescue supplements can help boost testosterone, promote a healthy prostate, as well as support energy and vitality for an active life. For the month of June, when you buy one of their Men's Health single bottles, you'll receive a second totally free. Just use the code STRENGTH for the buy one, get one offer. To order, call a rescue product consultant at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, or shop online by visiting res-q.com, res-q.com. Discover the amazing benefits of Rescue Natural Male, Prime RX, Super Prostate, and more. Again, use the code STRENGTH, STRENGTH for the buy one, get one free offer on Rescue Men's Health products. Shop res-q.com and do it today.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. 65 and partly cloudy overnight. For Wednesday, 82 will be the high. Afternoon thunderstorms are possible. Thursday, expect scattered thunderstorms, especially in the morning. Friday, we'll see a high of 83 and mostly sunny conditions. The weekend's looking cooler with a possibility of rain both days.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at californiapsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
I'm Philomena, founder of Kin Apparel here in Philly. I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies and hats were doing to it. So I made my own satin-lined hoodies and created a business in the process. I've got big dreams, and Chase for Business in Philly was like, all right, how do we get you there?
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Customs slip away.
What kind of new back there in the producer's room, Dan? New theme music is that? That's
oh no, that's for the lightning round coming up, Don. This is Al Stewart on the border coming back here. You know, referencing Joe Biden.
Okay. All right. So all right. Okay. Dan, too, my biggest fan out there on YouTube. What's his hair comment today?
Yeah, so our guy is back, Tony, and
Yes.
Tony likes to go on our YouTube feed where you can see clearly that you have some beautiful hair there. And he says, I think he might be jealous. Maybe Tony's a bald individual.
Yeah,
and just
Tony, send us a picture, please.
sees that beautiful, and he's convinced, Dom, that you're wearing a piece, and it's not true. But this time, Tony says, Dom, I see all those fans and air vents blowing with this air conditioning being so hot outside. Watching the entire show, not one hair has moved on that piece all day long. How do you explain that, Geronimo?
MAGA. That's right, MAGA hole. Is it mega or MAGA? It's MAGA hole.
The tears of Kevin McCarthy, right?
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, the product that I use, I think, says MAGA hold on it.
Really?
Yes, I don't
No,
know if that's
it's not. No, it's got to be mega hold.
It's probably mega, but I'll change it, Tony, for you to MAGA. That's it. I'm going to put X-ray in tomorrow, Tony. I think you should get some forensic experts in to see if you can see follicles. There will be no movement.
You can see the follicles on the YouTube feed. Go look at it.
All right.
It's HD. Come on.
Let's go to Greg in the Northeast. Hey, Greg. Afternoon. What do you have today?
Hey, Don, Big Dan. I think you got a hairpiece, just like Howard.
Oh,
himself.
come on.
I think that guy's right. I think that guy's right. And your hair gel, put it in a red. Put something red around and make it the MAGA hair gel. People will buy that stuff.
Honestly, Trump's so noted for his hair. It sounds like a good business opportunity working on.
There you go, the MAGA hair thing.
MAGA
Yes,
hair, yeah.
Absolutely, and that guy's nuts anyway. But what I was calling, all this stuff on the Merrick Garland and Hunter Biden and Donald Trump and anything going on, the Republicans are not doomed, but we're fighting at 10% because we don't have the cover of the media. We have Fox and Newsmax and maybe 2 or 3, but we don't have any mainstream media that's going to take the bullet.
Well, here's the thing. Let me give you an illustration, though. Sometimes for competitive advantage, they have to. Greg, the reason why Biden is doing this today, other than Fox, the rest of the media started to cover the border. Now, not as explicitly as Fox. Abbott provoked it. They had to cover it, and they were covering it, and the American people see it more and more.
Right, but I'll give you that. But they're not going to go deep in it. When he starts to say, look what I've done, what are they going to jump on? They're going to say, look what Biden's doing, and the Republicans are blocking it. So they don't have, that's why I said 10%, because they're not going to give them the cover and say, where was this 3.5 years ago?
All right, I got you, Greg. Let me answer this, okay? We can make excuses all day. We all know what this is uphill. We all know it. And strategically using it as a weapon to call out the media and going, I'm all on board with it. But it's gotten to a point. And what's the strategy here? Well, it took a while. Fox has put it out there. Other people started to cover it because you have to, because it's such an overwhelming story, because the American people in polls are seeing how it affects them. So, of course, it's not perfect. It's not anywhere near perfect. But we can win on these things. I count this as a win today. Well, how's it a win? He just got away with it. He said he's doing all this. And how in the world did he have to at least address the boldness of what he's been doing up until now? So it's a win. It's an indicator they realize this is way out of whack. They can't continue to just please the far left with this in their party. They have to pretend better. And you can say, Dom, come on. Well, this is how it's played. Not going to win in one fell swoop. And yes, the media is biased. So you have to take that into account of what you're playing against. And you still have to win rather than just complain. That's what the game is. Now, he left off one force that's out there. You're seeing more people on social media. And, of course, talk radio. Do you know how many people we reach in talk radio? The talk radio universe, constantly around the clock, day after day. They have trouble competing with that. So they still have the advantage. But it's not like back in the old days when they just dominate. I mean, the Inquirer circulation is CNN. I've seen statistics all the time, how much more powerful talk radio is than CNN, MSNBC. And Fox is crushing it. So sometimes, hey, we can complain about it or realize that we're doing a pretty good job of getting more and more traction against it. And that's why Biden just did what he did. They realize this is incredibly damaging. It's emotionally damaging. I'm surprised that this is in some ways a bigger issue than inflation, that people are seeing it in places in the swing states, which they're really afraid of, be it Arizona, be it Nevada, be it here in Pennsylvania. that we wouldn't have anticipated that they're seeing it in such large numbers and so many different aspects of it. And it's impacting African-American voters being undercut by this. And we had a guest on today, Wesley Hunt, talking about legal Latino voters are being impacted by this. The unions, what do they say to their membership? When do they weigh in on this? Any of these big unions? Remember what they did, Dan, you weren't here. The last time they did this is Bob Ennis, the head of the building trades. He took attendance and made them show up down at Penn's Landing for an illegal alien rally. Proud union members having to do that. That's what they're engaged in. That's their mentality. Because they're Democrats first, and secondarily, the American people who have weighed in on this, and that's why Biden did it today. So it's not a win where they keel over and you just rush in and win, but that's what happened. Here is President Trump on Biden's executive order.
Crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country by far, has totally surrendered our southern border. His weakness and extremism have resulted in a border invasion like we have never seen before. Other countries have emptied out their prisons, insane asylums, and mental institutions and sent us drug dealers, human traffickers, and terrorists. Millions of people have poured into our country, and now, after nearly 4 years of his failed, weak leadership, pathetic leadership, crooked Joe Biden is pretending to finally do something about the border. But in fact, it's all about show because he knows we have a debate coming up in 3 weeks.
All right. No word on Judge Marchand, if that will be from prison. Can you see that hookup from prison and Biden? Where they, Trump's right on that. And that's what this is about. But this is better for them as their judgment than allowing what we've seen go on here. And that's where the battle is. And this is going to be hand-to-hand combat right to the end. All right, it is the lightning round. I'm told with that new music next. Oh, man, it might throw me off on the lightning round. And we'll get your answer, that fictional town or residence. That's what we're looking for. Hey, I've told you for years now, it might be approaching 10 years, my friend, dentist, and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz. I've talked first about the infrastructure he has in there, the machines. I mean, this guy invests in getting you the best, most convenient outcomes. But the one thing that's about Dr. Bentz that is different than other offices, whether it's a routine visit, a cleaning, or a comprehensive, multifaceted process, he and his staff sit down with you. They create a clear plan, explaining it step by step. Get your input, get your buy-in. So if you have questions, if you've been putting off a dental problem, if you really want to get that smile that you've always been wanting, now is a great time to call Dr. Robert Bentz. The Bentz Dental Group, you will see the Bentz difference. Just make that appointment. Get that initial evaluation. Go through the process of talking with him. Visit Bentz Dental Group, BENTZ dentalgroup.com, or call him at 610-272-6949. Call and get that appointment now, 610-272-6949.
My dad loves steak, and that's why when I send him Omaha Steaks every year for Father's Day, he's excited because we get to grill together, we get to enjoy family together, and Omaha Steaks makes it so easy for you to give Dad what he wants. Your husband, your father, your uncle, your godfather, whoever, world-class dads deserve a world-class steak. And when you use my name, Zioli, at checkout at omahasteaks.com, you're going to get additional discounts. That's right. When you shop gourmet gift packages for Father's Day, you can combine them, make endless possibilities, burgers, steaks, side dishes, desserts, beautiful premium proteins like juicy pork chops, unbelievable stuff. It's what dads want, right? Dads don't return steak, right? They return ties and golf shirts. Got enough golf shirts. Go to omahasteaks.com. Put in my name, Zioli, Z-E-O-L-I, at checkout. You're going to get extra savings from the world's original butcher. That's right. Order now and send Dad an unforgettable gift package starting at just $89 with promo code Zioli. omahasteaks.com, promo code Zioli.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, I don't know about that. We'll have to test that out. Might be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Dan, they think they're clever, the guys that write Biden stuff, saying, for those who say the steps I'm taking are too strict, he wants you to think it's too strict out there. Somebody's saying this is way too strict.
Oh.
I'm only letting 1 million people in illegally a year. That's too strict. Here's what I say to that. Can you imagine? All right. Let's go to Gary in Newtown. What's that fictional town or city? Gary, what's your city?
I'm going to go with the capital city of Pan Am, right out of Hunger Games, which is what we're living with today. Washington, D.C. is no different.
All right. There we go. Good one. Joe of Exton, always with the exotic, Dan. Here is Joe's today. Hi, Joe. Afternoon.
Yes. Hello, Dom, and good afternoon to you. My fictitious town is called Shangri-La, which inspired a song. Your kisses send me to Shangri-La. And Shangri-La is located halfway down the Himalayan mountain pass to the town of Nirvana.
Very nice. Dan, he even brought in a great
I disagree that it's
rock
fake, though. I know of a Chinese restaurant called Shangri-La. So, I mean,
okay. All right.
Does that make it real?
No, it's fictional.
You open up the back door.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Right. Well, he brought in Nirvana, too. That's his backup answer. He got a 2 for there. Drew in Upper Darby, not a fictional town. Maybe the school district a little. I know there's a new principal there and stuff. It's amazing to me, that district. But, Drew, who do you have?
Hey, Dom, thanks a lot. Hey, Dom, if this town was a real town, it would be like what you say, the murder capital of the world. The TV show Murder, She Wrote takes place in a town called Cabot Cove. And I've never seen so many homicides in a quaint little seaside town.
Silent, quiet town.
That's right, Angela Lansbury. Larry Krasner, yeah. That is a good point. Thank you, Drew, as always. Earl in Tacony. Earl, what's yours?
Real quick, Dom, on high. Isn't this like the 4th policy that Biden has reversed? I mean, why aren't the Republicans and Trump doing a commercial about something like that, something that can, appeal to the voters? Like Joe Biden has reinstated 4 Trump policies that Biden previously canceled. If the policies were so bad, why reinstate them? Why vote for Joe Biden, who continues to plagiarize other people's work? Vote for Donald Trump, the originator of great government policy.
Well, and that plays into how he just blatantly stole a guy's speech in his life, and that's how he got bounced before. Good point. What's yours today?
I'm going to play toward the Judges, and it's a small town, has only about 7 permanent residents, just a couple of small buildings, but it's a huge tourist draw. I mean, even the Harlem Globetrotters showed up there. I'm going to go Gilligan's Island.
Good stuff. I interviewed the professor. It was great on a midnight show. Dan.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he was unbelievable.
Was it a live interview? He stayed up past midnight for you?
Yeah, he lived on an island in Seattle. Yeah, he was a great guy. The professor, though, all those devices, but nothing to get off. And, of course, we know about Ginger. Let's go to Bruce
Marianne, you mean.
in the Northeast.
Your hand in that folder.
All right, Bruce.
Keep the hand in the folder, Bruce.
There you go, Bruce. What's yours?
Hey, Dom, there's a little secret about Dom's hair that most people don't know. Dom sports a DA. He's a huge fan of it. Isn't that? I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's a Krasner. What's yours, Bruce?
Okay. Yeah. Mine is the Lost City of Atlantis.
Gotcha. Dan, let's hear some contenders here.
I like Atlantis there with
Yeah,
Bruce.
that was a good one.
Bedrock's a big one from Robert Mid-Salem.
Yes.
That had a great reasoning behind it. But I really like Drew in Upper Darby. Clever with the Cabot Cove.
That was a clever call. Let's go to Drew in Upper Darby, Cabot Cove. Richie Always Show next. We're back tomorrow with a lot of good stuff on Talk Radio 1210.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Dawn Stensland here for my friends at Anderson Mechanical Corporation, AMC. Yeah, they want to make sure your AC blows that cool air you'll need when summer temperatures are here. The owners, Kerry and Bill, take great pride in doing things the right way. Take advantage right now of their spring tune-up special. You'll receive a 15% discount off your spring maintenance and 1 year of free maintenance with a replacement system. Call them today, amcontheweb.com, amcontheweb.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Am I going to be okay? It's the most important question you should ask yourself when approaching retirement. A financial advisor will probably answer that question by looking at just one thing: how much you've saved. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, we believe that's only half the story. The stock market will continue to go up and down, but at Spectrum Wealth, we can help you build guaranteed lifetime income that's not affected by any of it. Let's sit down together and help you answer the question, am I going to be okay? Call 856-322-8686 or online at spectrumwp.com. And tune into the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
Why are you paying for an AC system that's struggling to keep you cool? If you hear something funny, smell something burny, your AC is frozen or leaking water, or even feel warm air coming from your AC, it's time to call CNC. CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Lennox dealers, can make it a no-sweat summer for your entire household with one phone call. 0% financing options available. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit cc-hva